Greetings. I am PUC Chairman Gladys Brown Dutrell. It's good to be back with you for this Be Utility Wise event, even if we again must gather virtually as we continue working through the professional and personal challenges of the ongoing pandemic. Globally, I think that we all agree that it's been a lot slower grind than we like. And we acknowledge that there are people still struggling due to a pandemic that has caused far reaching concern and economic hardship for consumers, businesses, and communities. As we move into the heating season, we are still seeing far too many households and businesses that are struggling and in need of assistance. Several classes of consumers are of particular concern, including utility consumers experiencing financial difficulty for the first time and are unaware of the resources available or the processes for requesting assistance. CAP consumers who have not renewed their assistance plan enrollment risk removal from these programs. Also, individuals who may qualify for rent and utility assistance available through counties across Pennsylvania, or households who qualify for LIHEAP financial assistance but did not apply for seasonal or supplemental aid. And even those households that did not qualify for assistance in the past because of higher incomes may now be eligible because of the financial impact of the pandemic. It is a problem that is only compounded when consumers don't know where they can turn for help. That's where our collective efforts as regulators, utilities, and frontline providers alike can make a difference. This year's theme, When You Know Better, You Do Better, is both timely and spot on. Consumers often struggle with making a decision simply because they can't access information that's valuable to them, don't know all of their options, and can't decide on the best path to take. Likewise, once consumers understand they know better, then they can change their actions and do better. Since the spring, the Commission has encouraged consumers experiencing financial difficulty to call utilities now to get needed information and discuss affordability options, enabling them to remain connected to vital utility services. Direct conversations between consumers and utilities are the best first step for any Pennsylvania household or businesses struggling to keep utilities on. Utilities understand the assistance program available to their communities for income qualified consumers. Utilities also can help enroll consumers in these assistance programs, guide them to other available resources, and discuss new payment plan options to address overdue balances and help consumers move forward. As you interact with your clients, keep in mind that consumers may also contact Pennsylvania's 211 system for information and resources in their communities to help with utilities, housing, food, employment, and more. Whether financial difficulties are related to the COVID pandemic, the ongoing state and national recovery, or other challenging circumstances, there is help available to address past due balances and continue service. Please know that the Commission will continue moving forward with Call Utilities Now. Today, you will hear more about that and so many other topics. I know that the Be Utility Wise Committee has put together another full agenda. Thank you to the committee, and thanks to each of you for being a part of the Be Utility Wise. The PUC values its working partnership with you. We are grateful for your continued hard work and dedication to ensuring vital services are delivered to the individuals and families that need them most. The reality is we could not reach as many people as we do without your help. We trust that the involvement and help of everyone attending our conference today, residents across the region, are in good hands. So thank you for your time and attention and for everything that you are doing in your communities. Enjoy the day.
Good morning. My name is Christina Chase Pettis from the Public Utility Commission. On behalf of our dedicated Be Utility Wise team, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. We are extremely excited to bring our Be Utility Wise program back to the Pittsburgh region. Although virtually, we are back. We have been through some very challenging times over the past 2 years, but we must revive and move forward. It's our job and our passion to continue to provide and share information about the vital assistance programs, family support services, and federal resources as we engage together in our recovery. We want you all to know that we are here for you and the clients that you serve. And again, we honestly thank you for the work that you do. Shari?
Hi, my name is Sherry Williams with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission. And as Chairman Dutrell stated in her opening remarks, consumer education is one of the Commission's core purposes. Having said that, I would like to share our consumer education video with you today to give you a snapshot of the PUC's consumer education programs and services that we offer statewide. Take a look.
Hello, I'm Gladys Dutrell, Chairman of the PUC. I'd like to introduce our team of educators, dedicated professionals who travel the Commonwealth helping consumers make informed decisions. Those decisions could be things such as when picking a natural gas or electric supplier, learning about available assistance programs, and how to save money through conservation in their homes. In addition, the educators work with many agencies and organizations as they reach out to their customers and clients. We are very proud of the work they do.
Hi, my name is Christina Chase Pettis. My home is Harrisburg. I joined the PUC in 2000. I'm an educator and I'm a proud member of this dedicated team. People's lives are touched every day by their local utility company, but consumers are often not aware of or understand the many utility programs and services that are available to help them. We partner and collaborate with a large base of community groups, state government agencies, legislators, human service providers, utility companies, community-based organizations, and others to help consumers make informed choices and maybe save some money.
Hi, my name is Sherry Williams, and I live in Philadelphia. I began as a PUC educator in 1995. Our goal is to increase awareness and understanding of the many utility programs and services available to consumers. We have educational programs to help you understand the shopping process and provide tools that will help you choose an electric or natural gas supplier that is best for you. We have information on how to prepare your house for summer's heat and winter's cold. There are assistance programs to help limited income customers. We have tips on how to save energy. We even have information on how to access COVID-19 resources.
Another important thing that we do is organize Be Utility Wise conferences for human service professionals. We interact with more than 1,100 community-based organizations to give them the latest information for working one-on-one with their clients. These events are very beneficial. They offer a wealth of information and are fun too. Be sure to check out our consumer education tips, fact sheets, virtual programs, and other resources.
Would you like to contact us? Reach out to the PUC educators at 717-787-5722 or email our team at consumered@pa.gov. We can go over your goals, identify your audience's needs, and design a program tailored to educate your audience.
Consumer education is so important at the PUC that it is included in our mission statement as one of our core purposes. I encourage you to contact our team and let them help you reach your goals of helping consumers. In the end, we all benefit. Thank you.
My colleague and I, Christina, would like you to take advantage of our consumer education programs and services that we offer statewide.
We are here to help.
Thank you, Sherry. It's time for us to get started with our first panelist of speakers. We have a ton of valuable information and resources to share with you. We are here today to help you and your clients follow the yellow brick road to vital assistance programs and services. Up next, we have our first panelist of speakers, and I'm going to turn it over to Manuela. Manuela?
Thank you, Christina. Hello, my name is Manuela Saxman from Pennsylvania American Water. Now, these programs are exactly what they sound like, customer assistance. We all go through hard times, and with the pandemic, people are finding themselves in positions they've never been in before. We want to make sure all customers are aware of the many options available to them. Customer assistance programs evaluate eligibility based on income for various levels of assistance, from grants and discounts to weatherization and rebates. We are here to help customers. At Pennsylvania American Water, we are not only customer obsessed, we are here to help. For over 30 years, Pennsylvania American Water has been helping the community with our Help to Others H2O discount program, partnering with the Dollar Energy Fund and community-based organizations like yourselves to bring help to the customers where they live. Customers within 150% of poverty guidelines are eligible for ongoing monthly discounts on water and or wastewater accounts. That's an 85% discount on the monthly water service fee, plus a 10% discount on water usage charges, and or a 30% discount on the total wastewater fee. That makes the average residential customer enrolled in this program saving about $18.94 on their monthly water bill and $20.38 on their monthly wastewater bill. All customers enrolled in our discount plan also receive a free water conservation kit to help reduce the amount of water used in the home, in turn reducing the monthly bill. Enrollment in that discount plan is available all year long, and to apply, customers would contact Dollar Energy Fund at 1-888-282-6816. Pennsylvania American Water is also happy to offer the Help to Others hardship grant. And customers within 200% of the poverty guideline are eligible for assistance in the form of grants up to $500 for water and or wastewater. So if a customer has both water and wastewater, that's up to $1,000. Now, this is available once per program year, and that program year runs October 1st through September 30th. Applications are taken by the local community-based organizations, such as yourself, and customers can find their closest community-based organization by visiting www.dollarenergy.org for their agency finder, or calling the Dollar Energy Fund at 1-888-282-6816, or lastly, by dialing 211. Now, we also offer installment plans, payment arrangements, budget billing, and conservation education to help all customers regardless of income, as well as participation in additional programs such as the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program, or LIWAP, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, or ERAP, the Allegheny COVID Utility Assistance Program, and the Pennsylvania Homeowners Assistance Fund. All of this information is easily accessible on our website, www.pennsylvaniaamwater.com, under Customer Assistance, or by calling customer service at 1-800-565-7292. Mike, what are some of the highlights of your customer assistance programs at Duquesne Light?
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Seelip. I am the manager of Universal Services at Duquesne Light Company. Thanks to each one of you for participating in the event today and for the work you do every day for customers. At Duquesne Light, we know that the Pittsburgh region is strong because of our commitment to take care of one another. We know that by working together, we can overcome the challenges that COVID has thrust upon us. Many people today are struggling to pay their utility bills. But thanks to you and your work connecting them to a variety of programs and community resources, they are likely to be successful in managing their energy burdens. Today, all of you are aware of the programs that are available to help customers, and you'll learn something about every one of these programs. I want to emphasize the Customer Assistance Program, affectionately called CAP, at Duquesne Light. The goal of this program is to help eligible households with limited income to receive affordable bills and to ultimately achieve self-sufficiency. Customers in this program are protected against loss of service. They receive a reduced monthly payment based on their household income. And finally, the program offers arrearage forgiveness. CAP customers are also given valuable education and support as they strive to reduce usage and drive down their energy costs. To qualify for this program, a customer must be a ratepayer, over 18 years of age, and provide their monthly or yearly household income. The program is based on income eligibility of 150% or below of the federal poverty income guidelines. Duquesne Light is proud to partner with Holy Family Institute and Catholic Charities. They are skilled energy advisors and are able to enroll customers in the CAP program either in person or online. For more information about CAP or any of the other programs offered by Duquesne Light, you can visit our website, duquesnelight.com/here to help, or call us at 1-888-393-7600. Again, thank you for the work you do every day. Please continue to encourage customers to call their utility companies. We are all here to help.
Thank you, Mike. That was some great information. And like you said, working together is always going to be working to the best of our customers. Alexa, can you highlight some of the program specifics for Columbia Gas for us?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Manuela. I sure can talk about our guidelines. I would like to talk about our guidelines for CAP, ERP, LIRP, audits and rebates, Security Deposit Assistance Fund, and our CARES program. So if you remember anything from this spiel I'm going to give, is this that Columbia Gas is here for you. We want to help. We want to make sure our customers are safe and warm. So if you're a Columbia Gas customer and you need assistance paying your bill, please call 1-800-537-7431 or visit our website and contact us before losing services. Please give us a call. So first, our CAP program is for customers with incomes up to 150% of the income guidelines. We do require income verification for our CAP program, and we encourage our CAP customers to apply for LIHEAP and Crisis, but customers in CAP are not eligible for Dollar Energy Grant, so keep that in mind. Next, our Emergency Repair Program, also known as ERP. It's currently open for customers with household income up to 150% of income guidelines who do not have heat due to a gas line issue, furnace, heating system issue. Right now, due to the crisis program being open, we do ask that customers utilize those funds prior to ERP to conserve the ERP funds. So first crisis, then ERP. Our ERP program does cover water heaters as well. The crisis program does not. So we have been able to partner with that program to provide assistance for both water heater through our program and furnace repair through crisis. Columbia's weatherization program, called LIRP, which stands for Low Income Usage Reduction Program, targets homeowners with high gas usage. And for this program, the household income is up to 200% of income guidelines. The goal is to reduce energy costs for customers. Audits and rebates program is very similar to LIRP, but it is available for customers who do not qualify for that program. Audits and rebates is available for customers with household incomes less than 250% of federal poverty income guidelines. And this program offers customers a free BPI audit and a rebate for $1,800 to use towards the recommended measures. If any of you are aware of a customer who is moving into Columbia Gas territory who cannot afford a security deposit, they may qualify for our assistance program for security deposits, also known as SDAF, Security Deposit Assistance Fund. So if the client is between 151% to 250%, and they acknowledge to the customer service rep that they are having difficulty paying the security deposit, they will be referred to this program. Anyone below 151% will not be required to pay a security deposit assistance, security deposit. For this security deposit assistance fund is the program that the 150% to 250% income guidelines can apply for. Lastly, our CARES program. Stands for Customer Assistance Referral Evaluation Services. I am a CARES rep, and I am one of the 2 CARES reps Columbia Gas has. We receive referrals from our technicians, our call center, and community agencies to help those who just need a little bit extra help with making referrals to other agencies or helping them apply for the programs and doing check-ins. Whatever the customer needs, our CARES rep will meet them where they're at and assist any way we can. So I know that was a lot of information, and I was muted for a second. So thank you for being patient with me. But overall, please, please, please give Columbia Gas a call at 1-800-537-7431 for assistance. And you can also get information on assistance programs on our website. So thank you so much for listening to all of us. We're here to help. And please do not hesitate to call. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alexa. And I would say, don't worry about it. Is it really a webinar if someone's not muted when they speak? I'm sure it'll be next time. Those are a lot of great options from Columbia Gas. I know all of us here are all so passionate about what we do. It's always great to hear how we're helping others in the community. This is a great time to remind everyone that there are so many options available, such as LIHEAP, LIWAP, and Dollar Energy, who you might hear later today. Karen, I know that Peoples is making accommodations to facilitate the customer assistant enrollment process. Can you tell us how they're making this program more accessible during the COVID pandemic?
Sure. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's attending today. It's been a while since we've all been together, and grateful for your participation. So Peoples made some changes to the CAP enrollment process to make it easier for our customers to apply. We made providing and verifying income much more flexible for the customers, especially because we wanted to accommodate customers who couldn't leave their home due to COVID. We wanted them to be able to get their income to us in the easiest way possible. And also, in addition to not being able to leave their homes, many customers lost income during the pandemic and to this day, and they may not have had proof of income available to them, or they were signing up for unemployment and waiting for that proof of unemployment income. So we were trying to be flexible and let customers submit their income proof in very different ways. So the first way is to mail their income proof into the CAP program. They can send it by mail, or we provide an email address where they can email the information or fax their information. And then in some situations, they could text the information to us, or we would take a verbal information for them over the phone and use that as their income proof. And all that is handled through our CAP administrative agency, which is the Dollar Energy Fund. So first of all, we ask that customers contact our call center at 1-800-400-WARM or 1-800-400-9276, our representatives screen for CAP, and then they transfer to the Dollar Energy Fund where the application process begins. And the representatives at the Dollar Energy Fund complete the CAP applications and CAP certifications.
Thanks so much, Karen. I really appreciate that information. That is some good info. I do want to remind everyone that all of this is going to be available in your resource booklet. That is going to be your place to go to revisit some of this information, find that contact information that you can continue to share with all of the people in your area. And another thing I want to make sure everyone aware is that chat box is open for questions. We want to hear what you have to say. We really want that feedback, and we want to know what's on your mind and what you're running into out there in the field. Now, Shelley, are there any changes that have been made for customers during the COVID-19 emergency at First Energy?
Hello, my name's Shelley Dye. I'm a business analyst at First Energy. And as always, our applicants may contact Dollar Energy Fund for information and to apply for the PCAP program by phone, fax, or with our advanced features, including applying online at dollarenergy.org/myapp. Customers can also email the requested documents to firstenergy@defdocs.org. Customers may also recertify via Dollar Energy's text to recertify process. Now, this process is initiated by Dollar Energy. Customers will be advised how to follow up and how to proceed. So during the COVID-19 emergency, we were able to halt the removal of customers from PCAP for failure to re-verify their income. However, we did partner with Dollar Energy Fund during the pandemic, and they made several attempts to try to get customers recertified through the text to recertify process. So this date's kind of important. On February 7th of this year, 2022, the PCAP recertification process resumed. We are notifying customers of their recertification on a staggering basis. They will receive multiple notifications regarding their new recertification date. So keep in mind, if customers are interested in obtaining a PCAP application, they can be referred to Dollar Energy Fund. They can log on to the website at the www.dollarenergy.org/myapp, or they can call 1-888-282-6816.
Awesome, Shelley. Thank you so much. Now, text to recertify, that has to be such a convenience, and it's just another way we can meet our customers right where they are. Now, I have Sarah here from Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. PWSA offers assistance in the form of discounts on the water and wastewater conveyance charges for eligible customers. Sarah, could you discuss this program?
We do, Manuela. Thank you. PWSA's customer assistance programs, all of them, with the exception of winter moratorium, which protects customers from having their water shut off in the winter, they all have an income threshold of 150% of the federal poverty level. Now, if you are at that or below the federal poverty level of 150%, you would be eligible for our discount program, which provides a 100% reduction on the fixed rate charges. That discount is about $36.84 this year with the rate changes for 2022. It also includes an 85% reduction on the new stormwater fee. So customers who are enrolled in this program will actually pay less than $1 a month for that new stormwater fee in 2022. This, for most customers, ends up being about $41.91 of savings. On top of that, if you are at or below 50% of the federal poverty level, so our most vulnerable customers, they would receive a 50% reduction on the per 1,000-gallon charge. That was only 20% last year, so that is a big increase. You can apply for all of these programs either online, there's a web application, by calling the PWSA Cares team, which is myself and two of my colleagues, or by calling the Dollar Energy number, and I will give those phone numbers in a moment. And I wish, like Shelley, that we had a text to recertify. I'm going to have to note that's something that we should do in the future. So for our grant programs, PWSA's hardship grant is up to $300 a year. You can apply every year. We do require income documentation for this program, unlike the bill discount program, which does not require any income documentation to be submitted. This is now open to sewage only customers. So people who get their sewer services from PWSA and perhaps get their water services from Pennsylvania American or Wilkinsburg Penn Joints, they would now be eligible to apply for this $300. And again, it's every single year they can apply. No sincere effort of payment is required, so nothing needs to be paid within the last 90 days. I like to let everybody know about Alcosan's Clean Water Assistance Fund. Alcosan is the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority. They provide sewage treatment services, but we do bill for them, so you pay for those sewage treatment charges on your PWSA bill. The Clean Water Assistance Fund pays $40 quarterly, so every every quarter, every 3 months, they would pay $40 straight to the account. And you can apply for both of those programs at the same time by calling the Dollar Energy Fund, and I'll give you the phone number now. It's 1-866-762-2348, and we will provide all of these phone numbers later. I also want to remind everybody about the programs that Manuela mentioned earlier, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, the new LIWAP, which is the Low Income Housing Water Assistance Program. And it's important to know that the income guidelines for these programs are different than the income guidelines for most other programs that use the federal poverty level. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program uses the area median income for Allegheny County. One person who makes $46,500 a year would actually be eligible for that funding. That's significantly higher than the 150% federal poverty threshold. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that. Also, we do provide payment arrangements. As of June 7th, 2021, anyone who has been denied a payment arrangement in the past is now eligible for at least 2 more payment arrangements. So because of COVID, we are extending additional payment arrangements to everybody. We do have arrearage forgiveness. So if you are enrolled in our bill discount program, and also if you enroll in a payment arrangement with us, each month that you make your payment on time, you would be given a credit of $30 towards your past due balance. Last year, that was only $15. If you fall behind, you do need to let us know so that we can catch you up and give you any credits that you may have missed out on. I want to touch on another program that we have. It is our lead service line replacement reimbursement program. PWSA is trying to change all of the lead service lines in our service territory. However, we cannot do that overnight. So if you have lead service lines, private lead service lines, and you would like to get that changed before PWSA makes it to your area, you can hire a plumber on your own and actually get reimbursed for the work done. And the income eligibility is also different for this program. So please visit our website at leadhelp@pgh20.com. I apologize, that is an email address if you have questions, but if you go to lead.pgh2.com, that is where you will find the income eligibility. Basically, you would hire a plumber, and the plumber would submit an estimate to PWSA, and if we approve it, you could go ahead and get the work done and a check would be issued. So even if you are at the max end of income, we still provide a $1,000 stipend. So even if you make $1 million a year, you would still be eligible for that $1,000 check. So I encourage everybody to check that out. The Lead Help Desk phone number is 412-255-8987. We also have a customer usage portal I would like to let you guys know about. I have experienced many water leaks myself. So if you go to our website, pgh2.com, and go to check your usage, you can actually sign up for text alerts and email alerts. All you need is your meter number and your account number. If you don't have that, of course, you can just give us a call. The CARES team phone number is 412-255-2457 for any questions that you might have about our assistance programs or anything else that we could help you with. And again, the PWSA Dollar Energy phone number to apply for those grants, 1-866 762-2348. And I really appreciate your time and getting the word out there about our programs.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That's a lot of information, and I'm glad we have those resource booklets coming our way so we can all reference them. I'm really looking forward to diving into some of these things. And now, as I'm sure all of you have heard, a lot of us utilities partner with Dollar Energy Fund to best meet the needs of our customers. Today, we have Mary Sally here from Dollar Energy Fund. Thank you for joining us. Mary, there are so many programs out there. We've gotten a lot of information. Would you be able to share with us some of the differences and similarities of these programs?
Sure. Thanks, Manuela. As you said, we've all gotten a lot of information about the different customer assistance programs that the utility companies offer, and I'd like to summarize some of the highlights of the program and point out some of the differences. The income eligibility for all companies includes customers whose income is at or below 150% of the federal poverty income guidelines. Peoples includes customers whose income is at or below 200% of the federal poverty income guidelines. All of the customer assistance programs reduce the amount that the customer pays each month toward their utility bill. Some provide the customers with a lower monthly payment, some a monthly credit, and some reduce the fixed fees on the account for all customers. Columbia Gas, Duquesne Light, and Peoples Gas give their customers a lower monthly payment based on income and household size. First Energy gives their customers a monthly credit based on income and household size, while Pennsylvania American Water and Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority give their customers a credit on fixed monthly fees. There are also a number of ways that customers can apply for these programs. In some cases, they can apply at a community-based organization, over the phone by calling Dollar Energy Fund, or through the online self-service application. Each company's process is just a little bit different. Columbia Gas customers can apply over the phone, through a community-based organization, or online. Their customers need to contact Universal Services first. Duquesne Light partners with community-based organizations for their customers to apply for their CAP program. First Energy customers can apply over the phone or online, and Peoples can apply online, over the phone, or through a community-based organization. Pennsylvania American customers can apply over the phone or through a referral from a community-based organization, and Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority customers can apply over the phone or through the CARES team. There are also differences in the income documents that each company requires. Some include all household income, some include only the adult income, some allow receipt of LIHEAP to replace the income documents, and some allow verbal income. Columbia includes all household income and allows LIHEAP to be used in place of income documents. Duquesne Light includes all household income. First Energy and Peoples include income only for the adults in the household, and Peoples allows LIHEAP in place of the income documents. Both water companies, Pennsylvania American Water and Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, allow self-declared income for enrollment. All companies, with the exception of Pennsylvania American Water, require all customers to recertify on a regular basis. The length of time varies by company, type of income, and whether or not the household has received LIHEAP. All of the companies notify their customers when it's time for them to recertify. As you can see, there are many similarities and some differences among the customer assistance programs that the companies offer. Each of these programs offers a great benefit to customers who are eligible. Please encourage your clients to apply.
Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. And as Mary said, yes, there's a lot of differences, a lot of similarities, but the one thing that we all have in common is that we are all trying to reach out and get this information to our customers, because again, working together is always going to be working for the best of our customers. Now, I'd like to remind everyone again that chat box is available for any additional questions. We really want to hear what you have to say and find out which issues you're facing in the field, so please utilize that. And to all of the utilities today, thank you so much for all this useful information. I want to remind everyone listening that this information will be available in that resource booklet, but it will also be available on the PUC website. Now, we do have some questions here that are for the entire group. Does your company require customers who are eligible to apply for grants such as LIHEAP, LIHEAP Crisis, and Dollar Energy Fund before being enrolled in the customer assistance program? Karen, I think you might have an answer for that.
Yes, I do, Manuela. We would like customers to apply for LIHEAP, LIHEAP Crisis, and Dollar Energy Fund if they're eligible prior to enrollment. And the reason is to reduce the pre-cap balance that they owe going into the program. We want them to apply, however, it is not a strict requirement for Peoples.
And Shelley, I think maybe you had a hand up for that one.
Yes, I do. So the customer must agree to apply for LIHEAP and participate in our weatherization program WARM when they apply for PCAP. This does not have to be completed prior to the PCAP application being submitted.
Okay, wonderful. Does anyone else have any feedback on that one of your requirements? All right, looks like we have another question. What do you think is prohibiting people from applying to these services? I'm going to chime in on this one, if you guys don't mind first. In my opinion, there's quite a few things, and I'm sure other people have plenty of ideas. But in my opinion, it's one, the first thing, people don't know what's available. Before I started doing this, I knew what LIHEAP was, and I think that's pretty much it. I don't think people are fully aware of what's available, which is why these types of things are so important. And that's why our community-based organizations getting this information is so important. And I think also people assume that they don't qualify. I think that's a big one. People assume I don't qualify, I make too much, or I'm not on public assistance, or whatever the case, I don't owe enough money, or I have to, or they think they have to wait until they're shut off to get help. That's why we're always saying, I'm sure you guys say it as much as I do, please call us, please call, please call us. So that's my initial take on that one. Looks like Shelley, you have your hand up again.
I do. So for a period of time, terminations were halted. So customers likely didn't feel the urgency to pursue assistance is one thing. Customer engagement was big through the pandemic for us. We wasn't seeing a lot of customer engagement. In addition, some may feel that the whole process to apply is cumbersome. So to help with that process, like I said earlier in the call, is that West Penn provides many ways to apply. So they can apply online any time of the day through the Dollar Energy Fund's My App process. They can also complete an application by phone, mail, recertify by text. So hopefully by having those different avenues, we're removing those barriers to help customers apply.
Looks like I see Karen's hand up on that one as well.
I agree with both of you, with Manuela and Michelle, that some people just don't know about the program. And as long as I've been doing this, and it's been many years, we still come across people who've never applied, in particular LIHEAP, in addition to CAP. And we do an outreach for our CAP customers. We do postcards that we send to stress to them that if they're on CAP, we want them to apply for LIHEAP also. And what's really important this year is the amount of the LIHEAP grant. It's been increased from $200 of minimum grant to $500. And so there's a lot of money available in a lot of programs. It's just, how do we continue to get the word out and spread the word and get people to apply? And especially older adults, there are barriers. They don't have technology. They're not tech savvy. They don't know how to get out and use a fax machine, or because of COVID, they can't go out. So we always run into those barriers regardless.
And I don't think I saw another hand up. Did I miss anyone on that? that wanted to speak? Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. Another question, and please, again, that chat box is open, so go ahead and put your questions in there. I'm seeing, what can customers do about high consumption bills? Sarah, what's going on at PWSA about that? I know us water companies run into that a bit, so.
Sure, I'll definitely chime in on that one. I know that Manuela and I, both being from water companies, see high consumption a lot. I'm not sure how often the gas and electricity companies see that. We probably see it the most. It's very easy to experience a water leak. I experience them myself too often that I would like to admit. For people who have had high consumption, we have leak credits. If you have PWSA for sewage only, for example, at PAWC, if you have them for water, you might go to them to see if they can do leak credit, and then we would also apply leak credit on the sewage portion of the bill. If you have us for water and sewage, you would apply for the leak credit via Alkasam. But again, you would call us first. We would give you that information. And we also have that customer usage portal for older people. If you have any older people in your life or somebody who's not computer literate, you could sign up for them. It's super easy, takes 10 minutes, and then you would just set a threshold. We could help you figure out that threshold. Say it's normal for them to use 300 gallons of water in a day. You would just put in 300 gallons, and then you would get a text alert or an email if that threshold has been exceeded. So now leak credits generally are a one-time thing only in most cases. So if you have a small leak, you might not want to use that leak credit on that, and you might want to go the route of grants and things like that, which there are a bunch of them out there. But yes, if you have a leak, please give us a call, mostly so we can make sure that the leak has stopped.
Great information, Sarah. And yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback. You kind of covered everything I was going to say as well, which is if you have us for water and PWSA for sewer, vice versa, whatever the case may be, again, reach out to us here at Pennsylvania American Water. We have leak adjustments or leak credits, and we will also pass that information on to your sewer authority on your behalf. But again, it is a one-time type deal. So if it's a small credit that you might need, or it hasn't done a lot, you may want to hold on to that. It's once every 5 years. And those are courtesy adjustments that both of our companies have chosen to do to help out our customers. And again, it's just another way to try and do what's right by our customers and give them the best services that we can. It looks like, Alexa, you had a hand up on that one.
I do, thanks. So customers can sign up for energy efficiency information for free, and it gives you tips on how to lower their gas bill by lowering their gas usage. If customers are income eligible, they can apply for LIRP or audits and rebates, and I talked about that a little bit earlier. And all these programs can be found on our website, columbiagasofpa.com, or calling that magic number I've said so many times before, 1-800-537-7431. And also in extreme circumstances, we can do a bill investigation. So we definitely have a lot of ways to help people with high consumption bills. Thanks.
Thank you so much. It looks like, Karen, you had your hand up. You have an answer for us on that one too?
Yes, we have a weatherization program at Peoples, and when customers are enrolling in CAP, we're also taking a look at their annual usage and referring them to our weatherization program. And that has an income guideline of 150% of the federal poverty level, and then we do some special cases, CARES cases, that go up to 200% of the federal poverty level. And the whole goal is to reduce their usage, lower their bill, and make them more comfortable in their home.
Awesome. And it looks like I have one more hand up from Shelley on this one.
Yes, absolutely. So anytime a customer has a high consumption bill, we want to talk with them. There are several things that we can do. We can provide guidance on maybe how to do check readings. We can talk about payment options and also refer to energy assistance. That's why we're here today. We would make referrals to LIHEAP, Dollar Energy Fund, our PCAP program, WARM, which is our weatherization program, and also 211. So it's important that anytime anyone has a high consumption bill, they reach out to their utility.
absolutely correct. We can't say that enough. Call your utility, call your utility. Now, another question I see here we have, does the customer have to make a payment to enroll in the program? I'm gonna go to Karen on that one. Looks like you have an answer on that one.
In our People's Customer Assistance Program, you do not have to make a payment to enroll. It's strictly based on qualifying, based on household size and income.
I can speak for Pennsylvania American Water. We do ask for a sincere effort or good faith payment having been made in the last 90 days. Now, we had temporarily suspended that due to COVID, but it is coming back around here at the end of February. So we do that, but that's just for the grants through Dollar Energy. No other program that we have requires a payment on like that. And looks like, Alexa, did you have your hand up?
I do. So Columbia Gas, there's only 2 programs that require payment, which is Dollar Energy and CAP. To be considered for a Dollar Energy grant, a payment of $150 must have been submitted in the last 90 days. And then for CAP, you may be required a payment, but it just really depends on your individual circumstance and the account status. So just those 2 programs, and the CAP is a maybe depending on your circumstances.
And Shelly, it looks like, I promise I'm not putting you last every time, Shelly. Just
That's
your
okay.
hand doesn't show up until the end.
That's okay. So for our Pennsylvania Customer Assistance Program, PCAP, we do not require an upfront payment to apply. However, I do want to mention that if a customer was a previous participant and they are re-enrolling into the program, so they're coming back onto the program after being off the program, and they do have a balance due on their account, that past due balance could be subject to collection activity. So we want to make sure to get them to all the resources possible to help them with that past due balance, in addition to adding them into our PCAP program.
And I do see that Sarah raised her hand. So Sarah?
Yeah, super quick. Just wanted to let everybody know PWSA does not require any sincere effort of payments for any of our programs right now.
So much, Sarah. Now, another question we have, does enrollment stop a termination? So does enrolling in one of these stop the termination? And I'm sorry, I do see Shelly's hand up. See, I didn't see you last that time.
So stopping termination actually depends, because if it's a brand new application into the PCAP program, so a customer who has never been on our customer assistance program before, we set aside their balance minus any fees for forgiveness. So in that case, yes, a complete application will stop termination. But just like I said for the previous question too, if a customer has previously participated on our CAP program and they complete a re-enrollment and they still have a past due balance after they re-enroll, only what we deferred on their first enrollment is set aside again for forgiveness. So in this case, the customer still could be subject to collection activity if there were unpaid bills.
And let's see, who else did I have on this one? Karen?
At Peoples, when we enroll a customer in the CAP program, if they have not been on CAP and they have a balance and a termination notice, when they enroll in CAP, that stops termination. So anybody who's never been on the CAP program and enrolls, if they're behind and have a notice, that automatically gets stopped. So that's a good thing about the program.
And it looks like I have a hand up from Alexa. You guys have something on this one?
I do. So enrollment into CAP and Dollar Energy does stop termination. And if a customer is applying for LIHEAP, please let them know they have to call us so we know that they're applying, because if they are applying, we don't know that. So we will delay termination to wait for that money to hit the account. Thanks.
Thank you. Did anyone else have any input on that one? I didn't miss any hands. I already got you, Shelly, so I know I got you. Looks like we have another one here. Are there any weatherization programs available to your customers? Now, Karen, I know you touched on that earlier. Did you want to touch on that again?
No, other than to add, if they don't qualify for people's weatherization programs, we then can refer them to the state weatherization programs because their guidelines are different than the company's weatherization program.
Okay. And Shelley, did you guys have you touched on yours a little bit. Did you want to touch on that some more?
Yeah, so our company offers the weatherization program, which we call WARM. So customers apply for WARM when they apply for the PCAP program. So it's done at the same time. Now for WARM, this program includes an energy audit, energy education, and installation of energy saving items in the customer's home, and that's at no cost to the customer. So again, free. So WARM helps customers who are at or below 200% of the federal poverty guideline, and if they don't qualify for PCAP, they still may qualify for WARM. So definitely give Dollar Energy Fund a call. They'll screen you for both of the programs.
We can't stop saying that enough. I know
That's right.
Mary Sally, I thought I saw your hand up, or was that just a mistake on my part?
I actually was going to mention that if a customer has a termination notice and their application for the Dollar Energy Fund hardship grant for all of the utilities on the call today is submitted successfully, that will take care of their termination. So a hardship grant does stop a termination.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. You took the words right out of my mouth, but you were able to cover it for the whole department. So that's awesome. I mean, for all utilities. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm not seeing anything else right now, but again, remember that chat is open for everyone. And I wanted to mention about weatherization. I know we had backtracked a little bit on that termination. Now, while we here at Pennsylvania American Water don't offer the weatherization program as a water company, again, all customers enrolled in the discount program are eligible to receive a free water conservation kit. It is sent out within a month or so of being enrolled on the discount program. It has some great things in it to help with water usage, lowering water usage and lowering that bill. Guys, I want to thank you all for this amazing information. Again, I want to remind everybody listening to us today, you're going to be getting a follow-up email with all of this information with the resource booklet. It'll also be available on the PUC website. Now, Christina, I'm going to give you this question. What should be a customer's first step when they find they're having an issue paying their bill?
Manuela, that's a great question, and it's an easy one to answer as well. We want customers that are facing hardship challenges to call their utility company first. As you all have stated throughout your presentation, you want to help your customers who are in need of utility assistance. But it's always best to encourage your customers and the clients that you serve to call their utility first before contacting the PUC for any payment arrangement. We know that working with you, the customers are going to get the best payment arrangement possible. So we want to encourage the customers to call their utilities first. We need everyone's help today to help us spread awareness and encourage your customers to call their utilities now. We're going to say this throughout this whole day, and that is to call your utilities now. The list of the utilities that you just heard from are now on the screen, so take advantage of jotting down those numbers, but we don't expect you to memorize them or jot them all down because they are all listed in your Be Utility Wise booklet that you received this morning. So next up, we have another panelist, and her name is Amber Book, and she will be speaking on the Advantage Credit Counseling Services on Pittsburgh Financial Empowerment Programs. Amber?
Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. And thank you all for taking the time to listen. I am Amber Book. I am the program manager for the Pittsburgh Financial Empowerment Center. The Pittsburgh Financial Empowerment Center is a collaboration between three entities. It's the City of Pittsburgh, Neighborhood Allies, and Advantage Credit Counseling. We are all working under the model of Cities for Financial Empowerment, which is the national organization that oversees all the financial empowerment centers in the country. There's over 40 financial empowerment centers in the country, and we are following their model and doing pretty much similar work. So I will start the slide. So at the Pittsburgh Financial Empowerment Center, participants, or clients as we call them, work one-on-one with a professionally trained financial counselor at no cost to manage finances and plan for the future. We work on 4 topics, usually. Safe banking, so trying to find a bank that suits your needs, that doesn't have maybe overdraft fees or low annual fees that you can easily access. We also do try to help you improve your credit by improving your credit score, talking to you about best practices and the best ways to improve your credit score. Little fun fact, just paying your bills on time will improve your credit score exponentially. So building savings. We at the Financial Empowerment Center find having savings is extremely important. So we want everyone to be able to have that emergency savings fund. There's all these statistics out there that say that the average American could not afford an emergency that was over $500. So we really believe in savings and paying yourself first. So we try to help you with tips and tactics to try and build your savings and make sure that you can afford that flat tire or that broken water heater. And the last thing we try to do is help you reduce your debt. Credit card debt and just loans and everything are a big problem for a lot of Americans, and we really want to help you, again, utilize those best practices to reduce your debt as quickly as possible. We also been able to negotiate or help you negotiate with credit debt collectors so that you can help talk them into a payment plan or something that is manageable for you. Who can come to the FEC? So the Pittsburgh FEC serves anyone that's in Allegheny County. The FECs all across the country serve different areas, but all you have to do is Google Financial Empowerment Center and you can find their website, and they have a list of all those financial empowerment centers across the country. We help any individual who's looking to talk through a financial issue or learn better money management skills. So if you have the desire, we have the time, basically. We want people to come to us. We love talking about finances. We love talking about money, and we're happy to help you. However, you must be 18 or older to receive the counseling. You can also come as a couple, so like a husband and wife can come together, or a couple that has tied together income can absolutely come together, and we will counsel that couple together. We do have phone interpretation, so language is not a barrier. If it is not your English is not your first language of choice, we will get our phone interpreter on the phone and still be able to help you. So we've we've been at this for about 3 years now here in the city of Pittsburgh, and we've kind of come to realize that we have clients that just kind of have all the things that make you more prone to success. Not that if you're lacking any of these things, you wouldn't be prone to success, but this does help. So this is kind of just a little list just to keep in mind. You must be committed to budgeting and tracking spending. Anything, even with all those goals and stuff that I've mentioned, everything starts with budgeting and tracking, knowing what you have in your bank account, knowing where your money is going. And when I say tracking, I mean everything. I mean that 99-cent cup of coffee. I mean the $2 toll that you paid on the parkway. Everything is tracked. And being honest with yourself about where your money's going and how you spend your money is key to making changes. You should have a reliable source of income. It's very tough to talk to people about saving and reducing debt when they have no income coming in. This doesn't have to be earned income. It can be child support. It can be SSI. It can be whatever. It can be Uber, your Uber payments, whatever ends up being. But it should be something consistent coming into your life. We are not really set up to help with emergency emergency financial situations. And if you're in that emergency or in that mode, talking to us isn't going to be helpful. We can help you connect to other people, other resources and stuff like that. We aren't going to just leave you hanging, but you really need to be in a good space where you can talk about making changes. Which leads me to my next point, mental and emotional space to talk about finances. So weirdly enough, talking about your finances ends up being a very emotional thing. It's tied to a lot of childhood experiences, what your parents did, and sometimes that can get a little emotional. So if you're in a good headspace, it does go better. Doesn't mean that you don't have to, you can come if you're not, but it does go better if you're willing and able to face those beliefs, those old beliefs about money that you have. And a phone or computer with internet. We are virtual right now, so all of our sessions and all of our appointments are being done over the phone or via Zoom or Teams. You don't have to have an internet connection. You can just have a phone. We can definitely do it via phone. But if you do have that internet connection and want to, see a face, we can do the Teams or Zoom meeting. This is what you can expect when you come. When you become a client at the FEC. So ongoing support from an accredited professional. All of our counselors are certified in financial counseling. They take a test and they get the certification. You can come as long as you want. There is no limit or no cutoff point. So you can have as many sessions as you want and come for as long as you want. Most of the time we recommend monthly sessions. It's really hard to make changes weekly or even bi-weekly when we're talking about finances. So monthly usually works very well. But if you're facing some sort of crunch time and you really need to talk about, getting that debt down, we can see you more often. Individualized and judgment-free approach. Every session is one-on-one unless you're a couple and want to come with your partner. But I will say that many of us who counsel also struggle with our finances. We have our own personal struggles. Changing your money habits is hard, and our counselors will fully admit that they mess up too. And so we do stay judgment free, and we really understand if you have a fallback or aren't able to do what we're recommending. Confidential interactions. Everything we do is done in confidence. You have a confidentiality agreement you sign when you first start. We use data as aggregate, so it's larger data, so we're never giving out individualized data to anybody, but just aggregate data saying, we've helped Pennsylvania save this much in this year. Accountability partner. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? Somebody to keep you on track, hold you accountable. You know that one of our counselors is going to call you in a couple weeks. You're like, oh crap, I better get on that tracking, get my budget in line. And as I said before, referrals to resources that we have around the area. When you first come to the FEC, the initial session is quite lengthy and can take a little time, but we are building, we're building a rapport, we're building an account for you. So we're trying to understand you, you're trying to understand us. So it usually lasts about an hour and a half. We collect all your background information. This is where we get all your demographics, your age, your income, everything like that. We do a financial health assessment, which will tell us what your view is on money, how you are currently feeling about money. And the counselors will explain that a lot better when they get into the session with you, but basically it's based on consumer benefits test. We talk about your income and expenses, so we will actually do a tracking sheet for you. We'll lay out all your monthly expenses and your income coming in, and we'll talk about that. We're going to pull a credit report. It's going to be a soft pull. It's not going to affect your credit score, and it's only pulled from Experian, so one of the credit bureaus, one of the 3. But we pull your credit report and we will talk about your credit report. A lot of people pull them, but they don't maybe understand what's going on. So we will discuss it, make sure everything on there is right and correct. And if we need to make changes, we will help you figure out how to do that. We're going to develop goals and a service plan and help you to identify next steps. If you are some sort of caseworker or provider, we always encourage them to come and have a session too. It's not just for clients. It's not just for, nonprofit clients or anything. It's for everybody. We will accept you if your income is $5 or $500,000. So nothing is off the table. So how do we help? We help by tracking and prioritizing to build a budget. So talking to you about what matters most in your budget. And maybe that is that $5 cup of coffee. So, but if you're going to do that, what can you cut out? What can you take down? Map out short-term and long-term goals. Call about options for utilities, credit cards, and others. Loans. So you just heard a bunch of resources about utilities that are out there. We can help you remind you of those, understand those a little better. We can talk to help you decide which is the best credit card for you, look at interest rates with you, compare and contrast. Again, we can review your credit report and talk about responsible credit use, really explain what affects your credit score and what doesn't, access the right bank account, refer you to a bunch of money saving programs out there, SNAP and unemployment compensation, LIWOP, I think is the new name. These programs that will help increase your income, and advise on home ownership and small business practices. We do know a good deal about these, and so we can absolutely help you. If your goal is to buy a home in the next couple years, we can talk about what that means and what you would need to do. These are our counselors, and I just like to show a picture of them because they aren't scary. They aren't, folks in business suits. They're just your everyday Pittsburghers who love to talk about finances. They're super smart and super capable and very approachable. So I just like to show a picture of them because these are the folks that you'll be talking to and working with, and they're very, very, very good at their job. And that's about it for me. This is how you can contact the Pittsburgh Financial Empowerment Center. We have a toll-free number, 1-800-298-0237. You can email us at fecinfo@fecpgh.org, or you can fill out an online referral form on fecpgh.org. So that is it for me. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Amber. That was some great information, and I want to meet with you personally. I think I could learn a lot, and I'm sure everyone else here just learned a whole lot. I actually want to give you a huge compliment. The presentation was full of information that I think should even be taken to the schools to teach our children how to start now to get the finances in order. So I think you did an excellent job, and I would love to partner with you even more to bring this information to our Be Utility Wise program statewide. So I really appreciate everything that you just presented. Next up, we have, and please, everyone, please put your questions in the chat because we will get to you. And if we don't get all your answers today, we will definitely get back to you with the answers that you need. But next up, we have our next speaker. Her name is Katrina Byrick, and she's from the Department of Human Services, and she is going to present on updates for the 2022 LIHEAP program and the new LIWET program. Katrina?
Thanks, Christina. First off, I just want to apologize. I do not have a working camera, so you don't get to see my smiling face today. I am the LIHEAP Policy Supervisor for the Department of Human Services. So today we're going to start just talking about the LIHEAP program. And we can go to the next slide. So LIHEAP is the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. It is a federally funded block grant used to help low-income households afford home energy costs. Pennsylvania offers heating assistance and energy efficiency improvements through the LIHEAP grant. For the 2020-2021 program year, Pennsylvania received around $200 million through the LIHEAP block grant, and we anticipate receiving around that same amount for this program year. In addition to that, the American Rescue Plan Act provided for just under $300 million towards the LIHEAP program. So you're going to see some of the changes we made to the program to account for all that extra funding. And I will say, in addition to changes to this program year, there were also supplemental grants issued to recipients for last program year prior to the start of this season. You can go to the next slide. So the LIHEAP grant is split between two departments. 85% of the grant is used by the Department of Human Services to run the LIHEAP program itself. 15% is used by the Department of Community and Economic Development towards weatherization services. DHS uses its portion to issue LIHEAP cash benefits to help with home heating bills or LIHEAP crisis benefits for fuel supply emergencies. Households can receive both a LIHEAP cash and a LIHEAP crisis benefit within the same season if they meet the appropriate eligibility criteria for each program. The LIHEAP cash and crisis programs are administered by the 67 county assistance offices spread throughout the state. Next slide, please. DCED uses their portion to offer LIHEAP weatherization assistance and LIHEAP crisis benefits for inoperative heating systems, otherwise known as crisis weatherization. There are 36 weatherization agencies spread throughout the state. Next slide, please. So I have some stats here from the previous season on LIHEAP. So in the 2020-2021 season, DHS received around 503,000 applications for LIHEAP cash with about 60% approval. The average LIHEAP cash benefit was $280. DHS has approved 116,000 applications for LIHEAP crisis last season, and the average LIHEAP crisis benefit was $435. In total, LIHEAP cash or crisis benefits were issued to a total of 303,431 Pennsylvania households during the last season. The next slide, please. And I brought some statistics so far for the current season so you can see how we're comparing to last year. So far, we've received around 390,000 applications for LIHEAP cash, with about 63% of applications being approved. The average LIHEAP cash benefit that a household receives is $562, which is quite a bit higher than the previous season. So far, we've approved around 82,000 applications for LIHEAP Crisis, and the average LIHEAP Crisis benefit is $563. So one of the changes we made due to the American Rescue Plan Act funding was that we're running a longer season this year. Typically, the LIHEAP program opens November 1st. This year, we opened it a couple weeks early on October 18th. And typically, it closes in mid-April. This year, we're running it through May 6th. So we're getting about 4 to 6 extra weeks of LIHEAP this year. So we still have about 3 more months left in the LIHEAP program. Next slide, please. So here are our income limits for LIHEAP Cash and LIHEAP Crisis. These are 100% of the federal poverty guidelines. And we have them here listed based on household size. So for a household of 4 people, the income limit to receive LIHEAP benefits is around $39,750 per year. Next slide, please. LIHEAP Cash benefits are used to help offset winter heating costs. The grants range from a minimum of $500 to a maximum of $1,500. This was a change that we implemented due to the additional American Rescue Plan funding. Last season, the grants were from $200 to $1,000. So we were able to increase that quite substantially to help out Pennsylvania households. Cash benefit amounts are based on household size, household income, fuel type, and the heating region. There are 5 heating regions, and they can be found in Appendix A of the LIHEAP State Plan if anyone is interested in looking at that. And we have benefit tables available on our website, which I do have a slide showing later in the presentation if you wanted to view how the benefits are issued based on household size, fuel, heating region. So in most cases, the LIHEAP Cash benefit is sent directly to a participating utility or fuel vendor. LIHEAP Crisis is a benefit issued for home heating emergencies. These benefits amounts can range from $25 to $1,200. That is, again, an increase from the previous season where they were from $25 to $800. So a household can receive multiple crisis issuances, but cannot exceed that $1,200 maximum for the LIHEAP season. A household does not need to submit a new application for crisis if they were already approved for LIHEAP Cash in the same season. The LIHEAP Crisis benefit is issued in the amount needed to resolve the crisis up to the $1,200 maximum. So for deliverable fuel types such as oil, kerosene, propane, wood, or coal, the amount needed to resolve the crisis is based on whether the fuel is delivered by the vendor or picked up by the applicant. If delivered, the amount needed to resolve the crisis is the amount needed to fill the tank as much as possible with the funds available, subject to the minimum and maximum amounts. For utility vendors, the amount of a crisis grant cannot exceed the amount listed on a utility termination notice, subject again to the minimum and maximum amount of crisis benefits allowed. And crisis benefits can be used for reconnection fees. Next slide, please. So a household can apply for LIHEAP through one of 4 means. They can apply online at www.compass.state.pa.gov, and there's a link to that later in this presentation. They can submit an application by mail to their local county assistance office. They can fax an application to the local county assistance office, or they can drop an application off in person at the local county assistance office. Next slide, please. Once an application is received by the County Assistance Office, it is reviewed to determine if it's complete. If any verification is needed, a letter listing the needed items is sent to the household. The letter informs the household that they have 15 days to submit the needed verification. Next slide, please. Oh, you're there. LIHEAP applications are approved or rejected within 30 days of the CAO receiving the application. The household will receive a notice informing them if they are eligible or not and explaining the decision. And here's some contact information for clients that will be beneficial if they're applying for LIHEAP. The LIHEAP client hotline is at that number shown there. And if they have any questions about the application process, the state of their application, if they need help requesting a crisis, that's the number they'd want to call. The Compass website is listed where they can go on to apply. And if they have an account, they can view the results of their application. And they can also submit crisis requests through the Compass website as well if they've already been approved. And then we have the LIHEAP website on the DHS page for the public to view a lot of information about LIHEAP, and you can find our state plan and brochures and our policy handbooks, benefit tables, just a ton of information there for anyone who wants to look at that. Next slide, please. And here's information for any vendors that are interested and want to communicate with the LIHEAP program. There's a LIHEAP vendor helpline. If vendors have questions about getting enrolled or any payments they received, they can contact that and speak with a vendor specialist. There's an email box for these vendors to use as well if they have any questions. And then there's a vendor website on the DHS page as well for vendors to find information. Okay, and that is the LIHEAP presentation. I'm going to check if we got any LIHEAP questions in the Q&A before we move on to LIWAP. I see there was a question about crisis being extended until May, and it is until May 6th at this point. The season is set to end, including crisis, on May 6th. Can a crisis application be done if a LIHEAP application has not yet been submitted? The application for LIHEAP cash and crisis is the same application. So we do need an application for either program in order to determine eligibility. But there are times that a crisis grant is approved even if cash has not been approved. And I saw another one. I just want to see if I can. I think I lost the other question, but we'll go on to LIWAP. And if I find that other question I saw, I'll address that after that presentation if we still have time. Okay, so the LIWAP program. Go to the next slide, please. So LIWAP is the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. It's a federally funded program to assist low-income households with drinking water and wastewater emergencies. And it's a temporary emergency program. As of now, this is not an ongoing program. It's temporarily created. It was established by emergency supplemental appropriations from the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021 and the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 in response to the financial challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's specifically created to address the emergency situations that occurred with various utilities around COVID-19. Next slide, please. So LIWAP is also administered by the Department of Human Services. We received about $43 million in LIWAP funds, and we broke the funding up, as you can see here, based on administrative cost, outreach cost, and the rest for distribution. We had to start a whole new program and get a lot of IT changes. And as you can see, the amount of funding we received in comparison to what we have for the LIHEAP program is significantly less. So we had to make determinations how to best serve Pennsylvanians with the funding we have available. Next slide, please. So we did go through a process to implement the program, to gather feedback from the public. We had a form online to receive comments based on our proposed state plan. We consulted with the PUC, and we met with water stakeholders to get their opinions, just so we could figure out the best way to use this emergency funding to help the most Pennsylvanians and make a substantial difference for these people who are suffering from water service being disconnected or huge bills piling up while service terminations were halted. Next slide, please. So the program date for LIWAP, it's not like seasonal as the LIHEAP program is. It's an ongoing program essentially to address the emergency situation. We started implementation of LIWAP on January 4th. We started accepting applications that date. So we're about 6 weeks into the program, and the program will run either until September 30th of 2023 or until we expend all the funding we have available. On the next slide, we have the income limits for LIWAP, which, as you saw from the previous one, are the same as LIHEAP. It's 150% of the federal poverty guidelines. And just like with LIHEAP, just under $40,000 a year for a household of 4. For LIWAP, we do have categorical eligibility, which means if your entire household receives SNAP benefits, if they receive TANF benefits, or cash assistance, if they receive SSI benefits, supplemental security income, or if they received LIHEAP in the same season, they do not have to provide us with income verifications, proof of income. If the whole household meets one of those groups that I mentioned, they're automatically income eligible for LIWAP. So they just have to meet all the other requirements. So that's a new thing for LIWAP compared to LIHEAP. Next slide, please. So for LIWAP crisis, our benefits range from $25 to $2,500 per water type. By that, we mean you could receive a grant of $2,500 for your drinking water and a second grant of $2,500 for your wastewater provider. So it's only one grant for the length of the program, and you can get it to both drinking water and wastewater for a total of around $5,000. But it's only one time for the length of the program. If you applied and are approved in February, you're not going to be able to receive another grant in August. So LIWAP crisis serves qualifying households who have arrearages, termination notices, or their drinking water or wastewater services terminated. So we defined a crisis for this program as just any households that have past due balances with their water companies. So you don't need to have a termination notice or have your water shut off to qualify. As long as you have a past due bill, you can receive a LIWAP grant. And if approved, water service will remain active for 90 days per the vendor agreement. So unlike LIHEAP, which retains service for 30 days, we extended that to 90 days for the LIWAP program to ensure households are getting a substantial benefit from this. And how to apply for LIWAP is the same, just the same way as it was for LIHEAP. You can go online to the Compass website. That's what I would recommend. You can submit an application by mail to your county assistance office, and the applications are available online to download and print out if that's your preferred method. You can fax an application in, and you can drop an application in person at the county assistance office, or even go into the office and apply right there. And the process for applying for LIWAP is exactly the same as it is for LIHEAP. We'll review the application to determine if it's complete. The county assistance office will send a notice requesting information if more is required, and the applicant will have 15 days to return that provided verification prior to their LIWAP application being processed. Next slide, please. The application will be approved or rejected within 30 days of receipt, and the applicant will receive a notice explaining the eligibility decision, whether they were approved or rejected, and the reasoning behind that decision. And on this slide, we've got the contact information for the LIWAP program. The phone numbers are slightly different because the LIHEAP helpline is dedicated to LIHEAP only. So if you need information about the program, please call one of the customer service centers for the Department of Human Services. If you're a Philadelphia resident, you use that specific line. Everyone else uses the first line, 877-395-8930, and they can provide mail out applications to you from that number if you need one as well. We have our Compass website where you can submit your LIWAP application, and this says LIHEAP website, but it is our LIWAP website, and just like the LIHEAP site on DHS, it's got a ton of information. It's got our state plan, it's got brochures, so you can check that out for any more information on the LIWAP program. Next slide, please. And then here's some vendor contact. Same number as LIHEAP for the LIWAP vendors to contact to get information, and there is a dedicated LIWAP mailbox if a vendor has a question to send that into. And next slide. So I do see there are quite a few questions now. I'm going to save it because I don't want to go over my time, and I know we're going to do some more questions in a little bit for the general thing. So I'll turn it back over to Christina or Sherry.
Thank you so much, Katrina. That was great information as well. Boy, we're getting a lot of information this morning. And please know that all this information will be posted on our website eventually. So please know you don't have to try to retain it all. You'll be able to go back and look at it. And you also will be able to refer again to your Be Utility Wise resource booklet. So we have a few questions in the chat, and I'm not sure how we're going to answer them first, but I'm going to ask Sherry to pull one or two out of the chat so we can get some of the questions answered right now.
Okay, great. So we're going to start with a question. If a customer's water is off, does LIWAP application processor call the water company to find out how much is needed to restore? And then if a grant is issued, does the water company call the customer to schedule the reconnection, or does the customer have to call the water company? Also, how is the customer notified if approved or denied? And we're going to go to a water company that can possibly answer that question, or the LIWAP program.
Yeah, so if water is already shut off, the worker who has that application will contact the water company. They'll find out how much is needed to turn the water back on. And then once they've processed through and determines the individual is going to be eligible, they call the water company and they tell them they've been approved and they get their water set up to be turned back on for them. So the client, unless there's anything the water company specifically needs from them, like an appointment window, they wouldn't have to contact them to set it up. We'll let the vendor know. The vendor will get that turned back on. And the client will receive a notice of their approval from us. Though if their water's off, they'll probably realize they were approved when their water turns back on. And if they're on the Compass website, they actually get a notice right away through the system once it's approved.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answered the question. Please continue to put your questions into the chat. I think we had another question for Columbia Gas. Columbia Gas, well, maybe it's a statement. LIHEAP needs to connect with community health workers. We are the folks that help people in the community, and the person gave their email address so that you can contact them. kwright@cornerstonecare.com. And it is in the chat, and we will make sure you get that.
Thank you so very much. I would love to connect with you. I'm so excited you gave your email. Thanks.
All right. We have another question for Mike Seelep. Is it still 300% FPIG for DEF eligibility?
You know what? We were always at 200% for our Dollar Energy Fund, but this year we've added additional money and we've expanded our eligibility to include customers that are up to 300%. So that's, I appreciate the question because it's a big change for us and it opens up an entirely new group of customers to the Dollar Energy Fund for Duquesne Light.
Thank you so much, Chuck. We appreciate that. And then there's another question. I think that one was answered previously. Chris? Do we have any other questions that were not answered? I think I got them all.
You think you have them all?
Yes.
Is there anyone else that has a question that you want to post in the chat? We have like 4 more minutes before we will go to lunch.
Okay, well, I believe we have one more question, and that was a water question. And the question is, many of my areas are rural and small town water storage companies and tell us they do not fall under the PUC's jurisdiction. What can we do to help them? Okay, and we do have the answer in there. The answer is you want to work with the board of directors through the rural co-op if it's a municipality, and please try to work with the municipality authority.
That's correct, because we have no jurisdiction over municipal water.
Correct. Okay. And then there was another question. I believe that one was answered as well. So thank you so much for answering the questions. Continue to put your questions into the chat.
Thank you, everyone. So now we're gonna stop a couple minutes early, just 2 minutes early. So you have 2 more minutes added to your lunch break. But we want you all to grab a bite to eat and recharge, so you can recharge your minds to get ready for the afternoon session. So we hope you all enjoyed what we brought to you so far, and we'll see you after lunch. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you had a great lunch, and I sure did. I had some delicious burgers real quick, 2 little mini burgers, but we're all back. And the best thing that we're bringing back right away is the most fun part, that when we were all live, we always had the best time with this. And this is our first raffle. So we are going to raffle off 7 items during this session. And our first items, I'll say, that we're going to raffle off They are from the Public Utility Commission, and they are from the Pennsylvania General Store, which is the basket of goodies that we give out every year that we kind of go back and forth because we really don't want to share it, but we want to share it with you this year. So I'm going to let Sherry tell us who our first 3 winners are, and we are going to spin the wheel.
Okay. Spin, 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 spin. Well, we already spun the wheel, so that was me spinning the wheel. And our first winner is, drum roll, da 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 da. You know Christina and I, so you trust that we already spun this wheel. I promise you that. Our first winner is, and when I announce the name, everybody just give a thumbs up round of applause. The first winner is Stephanie Gillespie.
Yay, Stephanie. So Stephanie, what we ask that you do is just put your name and your telephone number in the chat and let us know where you want us to send it to, or we can just call you and then we can verbally talk about where you would like us to deliver your item to.
All right. Now, Chris, I think we're going to spin the wheel again.
Yes, we are.
All right. So the gift again is the PUC PA General Store Goodie Basket. And the second winner is, drum roll please, spin the wheel, blah, 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 blah. Spin, spin, spin. Gabby Doran. Congratulations, Gabby.
Yes. I wish we could all do the live round of applause. That would be so much fun.
Okay.
Then
And we're going to spin the wheel again. Spin, 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 and drum roll. And our third winner is Beth Patterson. Congratulations, Beth Patterson. You know, we give great gifts and giveaways, so congratulations to our 3 winners.
Yes.
All right.
So next up, we have 4 more prizes, and they are $50 gift cards from Duquesne Light for Giant Eagle. So we have 4 lucky winners for a $50 gift card. Sherry, spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Spin, 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 spin. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Our next person up is, I mean, this is a really good, all of them are great gifts. We have Anita Rupert. Congratulations, Anita.
So I hope everyone's back that are winning these gifts and you are putting your information in our chat so we can make sure we get back with you to get these items to you. So we have 3 more.
Okay, we're spinning the wheel one more time and we're doing a drum roll for Cindy O'Connor. Congratulations, Cindy O'Connor. All right, we're spinning the wheel again. Spin, 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 and drum roll. And that person is Brian Alaskowitz. Brian, you are the lucky winner.
Yes, those are great gifts. I would love to have a $50 gift card to Giant Eagle. So I hope you all enjoy our first lineup of the raffle items. So we have 3 more throughout the day. So stay with us. Don't go away because you have to be here to win.
Right. And with that being said, we have one more spin in this category. Spin, 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 drum roll. And that person is Sarah Anderson. Congratulations, Sarah Anderson.
Great.
I'm turning it back to you. Well, no, you're turning it back to me. Let's see. All right. Congratulations, like Chris said, to all of our winners, the door prizes, and we will have more throughout the day.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. So next up, we're going to go right into our afternoon sessions, and we're going to start with the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, PA Homeowner Assistance Fund, and Allegheny Housing Services. And we have four panelists on this particular workshop: Charles Keenan, Patricia Hassan, Heather Pearl, and Rita Mazzi. So Charles, we're going to go to you first. Let's welcome Charles.
Hi, can you guys see and hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Let me just get the presentation going from slideshow. Okay, that's showing well too?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Charles.
Okay. All right, thanks. So thank you all for coming to the presentation today. My name is Chuck Keenan. I work at the Allegheny County Department of Human Services. We're one of the people responsible for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. So both the county and the city of Pittsburgh are recipients of this funding, as are a whole number of counties throughout the state of Pennsylvania and across the country. But I'm going to talk about Allegheny County's program, which we're jointly administering with the city of Pittsburgh. So there are a number of other partners in the program. The county and the city are the recipients of the funds, but we contract with Action Housing as kind of the lead agency that administers the program for us. And then the Urban League and YWCA and Dollar Energy are kind of the sub-leads under Action Housing, along with 27 other nonprofit service providers in Allegheny County that really help us get the program out. So the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, or ERAP, has been around for a little over a year now. It was part of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, which was signed into law on December 27, 2020 by President Trump and the Congress at that time. We've received 2 rounds of funding for ERAP. The first was at $80 million that came to the city and the county through the United States Treasury, and then also some through the state of Pennsylvania. So basically the program covers 2 things: rent and utilities. We have extended that up to 15 months now, but the original ERAP program was 12 months, but you could extend to 3 months if there's still need. So we've extended the program for up to 15 months, and that can cover rent and or utilities for any rental unit in Allegheny County, as long as you meet the qualifications that I'll talk about in a little bit. So we launched the program a little under a year ago, March 15th, 2021. And the program will go through, we think, at least September of 2022, based on the additional funding that we've received so far with the ERAP 2, and hopefully some additional funding that we may get through what's called reallocation. So you apply for the utility or rent program through our online website, which is covidrentrelief.alleghenycounty.us. If you don't have internet access or would rather do it over the phone, you can do that by calling the hotline, which is 412-248-0021, or you can drop into one of 8 centers that we have across the county to fill out an application there. So we know, technology can be a barrier for some people in accessing programs like this that have an online component to them. So we don't take paper applications or mail-in applications or anything like that. It has to be done online. So we've established these drop-in centers throughout the county where people can go and submit them in person there. And again, if they can't get in person or online, they can call the 248-0021 and make an appointment, and they'll fill out the application for you over the phone. Okay, so the centers are spread out throughout the county and the city. In terms of the program itself, there's 5 things that you need to be, or you have to be eligible for the program. At least for Allegheny County's program, is the first one is you have to live in Allegheny County. Like I said, there are other programs throughout the state and throughout the country that have the same basic eligibility guidelines, but you would apply to those programs within those counties. The next piece is that you have to have a household income below 80% of the area median income. So there's a chart next that I'll show you about what that would be. And then you have to have a COVID-19 impact on your financial situation. So that could be a loss of income, including unemployment, an increase in your expenses, or a financial hardship. You have to have a lease, and you have to be at risk of homelessness or housing instability. Sorry. So live in Allegheny County, that's pretty simple. You just have to live within the Allegheny County border. We check that at the time you apply. And if you're not in Allegheny County, we direct you to the state's program. Here's the income guidelines for 80% of area median income. So we count every household member above age 18 in the home, and we have to count their income when calculating this. If they're a full-time student, we exempt that as well. So there's 2 ways to do this. We do your current income, which is your current income within the last 2 months. So that would be your pay stubs, a Social Security award letter, unemployment compensation, or documentation of other benefits like TANF. Or you can do what's called the yearly income from 2020. So you could submit your 1099, your 1040, your W-2s, just basically your tax documents from 2020, and we can use those as your eligibility. The rest of this is, due to COVID, is typically a self-certification. So that would be loss of income, increased expenses, or financial hardship, again, through some sort of statement. And then risk of homelessness is just your late rent or late utility bill. Sorry. And then you need a valid lease with the following information on it. If you don't have a written lease, we have an oral lease form. The process is basically 5 steps. Sorry. I'm getting a phone call, sorry. We take an inventory of the 5 steps is basically seeing what you have, contacting you for what's missing, determining your eligibility, and then contacting your landlord, and then issuing a payment. We also have a utility portion of the program, which is run through Dollar Energy, so they can pay electric, gas, trash, and water. So far, we've spent about $6 million in utilities and paid over 7,000 people. Are there questions? I can stop sharing.
Okay, well,
Any
thank
questions?
you so much.
Sorry, I can't see.
Thank you so much,
that's it.
Charles. We'll take questions at the end of the presentation from everyone. Please put your questions into the chat, and we will take your questions afterwards.
Okay, sorry, I don't see any questions.
Okay.
Right.
No problem.
Okay.
They may have some later, so we'll just ask them to continue to put the questions into the chat.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
Thank you so much for your participation and all of that great information. Next, we're going to pass the mic to Patricia Hassan. And Patricia, after your presentation, just pass the mic.
Okay, thanks, I will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We can go to the next slide, please. we'll start the presentation on the Pennsylvania Homeowner Assistance Fund. So the Pennsylvania Homeowner Assistance Fund came out of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, and it created the Homeownership Assistance Fund across the country. Pennsylvania was allocated $350 million, and Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, or PHFA, many of you know, has been designated as the administering agency. It will assist Pennsylvania homeowners who are facing financial hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And our goal is to assist eligible homeowners at the greatest risk for mortgage delinquency, default, foreclosure, and displacement. We are operating on 4 principles. The first is to assist the maximum number of eligible Pennsylvania households at the greatest risk for mortgage default, delinquency, and foreclosure or displacement. We're utilizing a proactive outreach and marketing program to reach income eligible and socially disadvantaged homeowners. We're going to ensure that the application, approval, and disbursement process is easily accessible, clear, and straightforward. And we want to put homeowners in the best position to succeed in the future while maximizing existing state, federal, and local resources to avoid duplication of services, programs, and dollars. Okay, next slide. Eligibility. There are income requirements for this program. They are 100% of the county area median income based on your household size, or 100% of the AMI for the United States, whichever is greater. And for the United States right now, that would be 79.9. 60% of the dollars must be allocated to serve these homeowners. We then can go up to 150% of county AMI. At the present time, it is prioritized for socially disadvantaged households until we are sure we can meet that 60% threshold. We will not be opening up the application portal. So if you are between 101 and 150% at the present time and not socially disadvantaged, you will not be eligible to apply. The eligible properties are single family, row home is considered a single family, attached or detached properties, condominium, cooperative, manufactured and mobile homes, permanently affixed to real property and taxed as real estate, and land contracts. The homeowner must be a natural person or a trustee. It can be an heir. We would require additional paperwork if it is an heir or a successor in interest. You must use the property as your primary residence. And as I mentioned, we are prioritizing applications at this time to primarily under 100% area median income. And we may serve applications out of priority to maintain efficiency in application processing. Okay, we're going to move on. What is a qualified financial hardship in this program? It must be as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. A homeowner must have experienced a material decrease in income, material increase in expenses after January 21, 2020. It does include a hardship that began before that date, but you'd have to show that it continued after that date. So what are some of the reasons for hardships? Temporary or permanent job loss. Again, if you're on unemployment and your income was reduced, even on unemployment, that would qualify you. Reduction in hours, reduction in your pay or salary, temporary or permanent closure of a business. And for a material increase in expenses, child care expenses may have gone up, medical expenses, or additional members in your household. There are some examples. Again, the pandemic impacted all of us in a lot of ways. So as long as you can attest to that material decrease in income or increase in expenses, you would qualify. So now let's talk a little bit about what's covered. The first program is mortgage reinstatement, and this is where the most dollars are allocated. And a mortgage reinstatement, it means to bring your first mortgage current. At the present time, we are only doing first mortgages. Property taxes and insurance are included in your mortgage payment. They would be covered in that mortgage reinstatement. And any cost related to the period of forbearance, delinquency, or default. So sometimes there could be attorney fees, et cetera, with your mortgage company. Those would be covered as long as they're reasonable. The second is forward payments, which is, it can only be used in combination with the mortgage reinstatement option. If you're still challenged, not fully back to work, not at the pay you were at, we will provide up to 6 months of forward mortgage payments. The combination of assistance in both of those categories is the lesser of $30,000 or 24 months. So for instance, if you need mortgage reinstatement for 18 months and still need forward payments, we could pay it forward for 6 months. All would have to fall under the $30,000 threshold. Property charges, so this would be you own your home free and clear, or it's not covered in your mortgage payment. Those two would be eligible, and it would be delinquent property taxes up to $5,000. Your insurance premiums up to $3,000. If you have homeowners or condominium fees, and then common charges that would put the ownership of the property at risk. And finally, the fourth category is delinquent utilities, electric, heating, fuel, water, sewer, risk at loss of service, or potential lien or ownership at risk. And again, it would be $3,000 maximum. All of these categories do have a maximum of 24 months of assistance. The PA half is a grant. It is not a loan. Treasury has indicated that and provided guidance that it will not be taxable income. All of it will be paid directly to service providers, and no payments will be made to homeowners. So now you're ready to apply. What documents would be required? We will look for a government issued photo ID, could be a driver's license, for instance, or some type of documentation with your photo ID. Your deed or proof of ownership. You can pull tax statements off county websites. Social security number verification. You could use your social security card. If you're like me, you probably don't have it readily available. So if you have your IRS 1040 for which would be required for 2020 or 2021 if you have filed it already. For household members over the age of 18, that also can serve as your social security number verification. You will need to, within the application itself, we will ask for a third-party authorization. That form allows us to go out to your all of the entities, utilities, tax authorities, and your servicers to verify the debt. We ask a series of questions around home ownership. And again, as I mentioned, the reason for the delinquency and what led to the COVID hardship, and then an income attestation, which will attest to your income. And then depending on what you are applying for, you see the list. It could be, we would also need your mortgage statement if it's reinstatement, your utility statement if you're applying for utilities, or any of those required documents depending on the program that you are applying for. So again, all applicants will need to review and attest that all the information is true and accurate to the best of their knowledge. We do have a call center, and I'll give you that number at the end. If you have any questions, they're available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday 8 to 5 p.m. They can help you get the application in. They can help you if you have questions about any of the documentation. It can be completed entirely online, including on mobile devices. We will have program partners. We do now, housing counselors, if for some reason you do not have access online. We're also going to be working with legal service providers who can help assist you with the application as well. And our website does contain a full list of the agencies. And as the program rolls out, we'll be partnering with community nonprofit organizations to also provide that outreach and support. So here's the information, pahalf.org. You'll find all of the information I just covered. There is a application registration page, and that will get you started. Once you register, you then go into the application portal to log in and to start your application. And as I mentioned, there's the call center number, 888-987-2423, with the hours listed. So I look forward to questions at the end, and thank you for including PAHAF in this important conference today. And I'm ready to turn it over to Heather and Rita from the Fayette County Community Action Program Agency.
Thank you so much, Patricia Hansen.
And I was going to say the same thing. Thank you so much, Patricia Hansen. Hi, my name is Rita Massey. I'm the Director of Customer Service here at Fayette County Community Action. My co-presenter is Heather Pearl. She is our Housing Project Manager. We've been talking a lot today about help for folks who may fall into that low-income bracket. So that is our presentation, looking at the affordable housing options that there could be in Western Pennsylvania. So we're going to talk about some of those options now. Next slide.
So what does it cost to live in southwestern PA? HUD defines affordability as housing costs, including rent and utilities, that are equal to or less than 30% of adjusted household income. Example, if your adjusted monthly income is $2,100 a month, you should spend no more than $630 a month on housing costs, and that includes rent and utilities.
Next slide.
Fair market rents are gross rent estimates for housing in your community. They include the rent plus the cost of all tenant-paid utilities, excluding telephone, cable, or satellite TV service and internet service.
HUD defines the fair market rents every year. So these are the 2022 fair market rents for the Pittsburgh metro area. Most participants on the call probably fall into this area. We're from Fayette County. We fall into this area. I believe Armstrong, Indiana have a different bracket. But if you're looking at these costs, you know, these are costs of what full market rent could be for, or fair market rent could be for someone if the landlord is paying all utilities.
Next slide, please.
And we've talked a lot today about the area median income for different programs. So again, this is going for the Pittsburgh metro market. We're looking at the area median incomes for folks in South or in Western Pennsylvania. You know, we're looking at those extremely low folks, you know, where households making $17,850 or one person household. That is extremely low. And then you go to that high of the $47,500 as being the high piece. So it's still low income. It's still, you know, a family of one is going to struggle, especially if they're in that AMI, the 30%, the low income households. So that is why we're having the next parts of these presentations, because it's to look at other options for someone who is on that SSI income, that SSDI income. Where can they live? And then some of those times that the issue is they can't get into low income public housing for some reason or other, so that we need to explore the other options. So next slide. For definition purposes, you know, we're talking about eligibility for different programs. So if somebody is trying to apply for something that is continued general occupancy for public housing, it's going to be an individual or a family. Senior housing is typically referring to somebody 55 and older. Elderly housing is 62 and older. And the person with the disabilities is going to be somebody who has a physical or mental impairment that limits their ability to in their major life activities. So those are the folks that we'll be talking about in these next groups of slides. Next slide.
Next slide, we're going to talk about subsidy. In most cases, tenants pay 30% of their adjusted income and the subsidy provider pays the remainder of the rental cost. As you see, there's project-based subsidy and tenant-based subsidy. In the project-based subsidy, we have public housing and project-based voucher. In the tenant-based subsidy, we have housing choice vouchers.
And the housing choice vouchers are what everyone typically refers to as Section 8 vouchers. So the project-based ones are going to stay with the unit. The tenant-based ones can go with, I'm thinking I'm skipping ahead now too. Are going to go with the client. Next slide.
So as Rita just mentioned, the project-based subsidies, they offer tenant a subsidy that is specific to the unit that they are occupying. And when they leave, the subsidy does not go with them. Next slide, please. Then we have tenant-based subsidies. Tenant-based subsidies offer tenants a subsidy that is not specific to the unit that they are occupying. When they leave, the subsidy does go with them.
So
next slide, please.
Most of the project-based and tenant-based subsidies are with a low-income subsidized housing project, so either privately owned or publicly owned. Some folks have a difficult time getting into publicly owned and privately owned low-income public housing, which is where coordinated entry in Western PA comes into place. So coordinated entry is for the continuum of cares, the COCs. It's a list that is in place to help folks who are having difficult time finding or are homeless and need to find some housing. So in western part of Pennsylvania, there are 3 coordinated entry systems. Next slide.
For the 20 counties in western PA, there are coordinated entry assessment centers in each county. Many counties have a general assessment center and a separate domestic violence assessment center. Any person who is homeless that presents at these centers will be administered the coordinated entry questionnaire. All HUD-funded COC projects in these 20 counties use this computer-generated list to fill vacancies in the programs.
And these programs that are funded through the COC have a little more flexibility than some of the public housing programs, which really helps folks who may have a criminal record that will prevent them from getting into public housing find some affordable housing. Next slide. The 20 counties that Heather mentioned do not include Allegheny County and does not include Beaver County. So Allegheny County has their own coordinated entry system. Allegheny Link is that one-stop point of access for that system, and the phone number and the hours of operation are on this slide. Next slide. Beaver County has their own that is handled through the cornerstone of Beaver County. That phone number is here on this slide. And then we're to our last slide. So now we're ready for questions, I believe. I'm turning it back over to Christina and Sherry and everybody else.
Okay, so thank you very much. That was a lot of great information, and I do believe that we have some questions. So I'm trying to see. I can see a few of them. Let's see. And thank you everyone for coming back to the screen.
And it seems like we have a lot of time left in this session, and there's programs in this session that are very, very new. So please ask as many questions as you want, because we're a little ahead of time, which is a good thing. But I do see one question. I'm not sure if you see it or not, Sherry, but I can read it if you don't see it. It says, how quickly are people processing the homeowners program applications? Like, what type of turnaround could people expect to hear back? Now, I know we hear that a lot. We get that question a lot. So this is a question that I'm sure one of our housing reps can definitely answer.
I'm happy to jump in. The PA HAF program just launched on February 1st. So we're still determining the timeline and how long it will get applications through. I can tell you, please go to the website, pahaf.org, find out the documentation you need. The better prepared you are, the information you have, the quicker the process in terms of the application will go. Our biggest holdup will be verifying the debt with the mortgage servicers. There is a process that has been built across all of the servicers across the country, whether or with utilities, et cetera, we're building those processes. So there may be a delay there. So we can't give you an exact time frame right now. We are building it, but the better prepared you are, the quicker you'll get that approval verifying the debt.
And Chuck, how long does it take for the applications to be processed through your agency?
Yeah, so ERAP's the rental assistance program. It really depends on how quickly people submit information to us. When we started on March 15th, we actually paid 3 people the first day. But we also got 1,200 applications that day too. So it can vary. We've also had people who've applied in March who haven't been paid yet. So it's really dependent upon how quickly people get us the information that we need, how responsive they are to things that are missing, and then how responsive the landlords are to our requests for information from them. So it can really range anywhere, I would say, from 2 weeks on a normal application to 2 months or 3 months. The utilities goes a little bit faster than the rent payments do because we don't have to worry about reaching out to the landlord. We go directly to the utility through Dollar Energy, and they can get the payments made much quicker.
Okay, I have a personal question that I can ask. Are the programs laid out the same throughout the state, or is it different the way? I mean, there's different counties, of course, we have different counties within the state, but are different counties applying the program differently?
Yeah, so the eligibility requirements are the same. The state did ask each county not to add any additional eligibility requirements on. So those 5 things about the, being a resident of your county, the 80% area median income, that's statutory. Having to have a lease, that's statutory. Having to have a COVID financial impact is statutory. And then being at risk of homelessness is statutory. How people define some of those things can vary from county to county, but those 5 things are the same. And then how they process applications is different. Some are taking paper applications in different counties. Others are taking them through Compass, which is the state's online system, benefit system. So where you apply for LIHEAP and food stamps and TANF and things like that. So the programs themselves are pretty rigid in how they operate statutorily, but there is some difference in how they're applied.
And Christina, this is Rita and Heather. For Fayette County, we are also doing the applications for our county. As Chuck said, in our county, we take the applications through the Compass system, and then we're still doing the same thing that they're doing. We have to gather those documents because we need to have all the backup in our files for when the state comes to monitor us.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to kind of put the utilities on the spot right now because I'm not sure if we have any additional questions in the chat yet. But do any of the utilities have any questions on how these programs run and how you can partner with these programs? Because utilities and housing definitely go hand in hand. So if any of the utilities on the line have questions for our housing team, this would be the time to ask the question.
Okay, and while they're teeing that up, there was a question for Patricia. The PA Housing Finance Agency, you're a consultant there. Do you help people statewide, or is it just in specific counties?
No, this program is statewide. So, and it is one source, so the application is across the state. So it's not at the county level. So we'll cover all counties, and we recognize and have done the data analysis. And so some counties will have greater need for mortgage taxes and insurance. And we know utility across the state that there will be a need.
And if you have handy, can you give that number again?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Or put it in. You can put it in the chat.
You can put the screen up, but it's 888-987-2423.
Okay.
The number. And the call center again is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Monday to Friday, and Saturday 8 to 5 p.m. And they can help you get the application in as well. So if you do not have computer access and want to get your application in, they can help you get it started.
Thank you so much. All right, we have a few more questions that are coming in. Sarah has a question.
Yeah, I can go ahead and ask. So I was wondering about the programs that use the Compass website. PWSA is not involved in the Compass application. I know we've tried to get involved in the past, but at that time, they said it wasn't possible for whatever reason. Well, my question is, in helping people to apply for LIWAP and different things like that, am I able to help somebody fill out a LIWAP application over the phone, or is that something that a utility needs to register for? I know that I saw like a vendors section on that website.
Good question. Can any of the utilities answer that question? Yes. Oh, well, our next speaker, actually, our next speaker can answer that question. And so we will tee up our next speaker, and she can definitely answer that question. So thank you, and we'll come back to you, Sarah, with the answer for your question. All right. Okay, so we're going to go into our next presentation, Legal Services with Elizabeth Marks, and she's with PA Utility Law Project. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Let's see, am I working? Can you see me and hear me? Great.
Yes, Ken. Thank you for joining us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for having me. I hope I am sharing my screen. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Sherry and Christina, for inviting me to come to this session today. My name's Liz Marks. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Utility Law Project. So I'm going to talk a little bit about legal services that are available. I'll then hopefully get to, I believe it was Sarah's question on LIWAP. You know, it doesn't look like anyone from DHS is still here, so I'll try and answer it to the best of my ability on those programs. And I'll walk you through what some of the legal services are available across the state, not just for PULP, but also from many of the other legal services providers in the Pennsylvania Legal Aid Network. And then I will also talk a little bit about affordability if there's time, and some of the issues that you could contact PULP about. So without further ado, I just want to thank you all again. And so first off, PULP's mission is really about ensuring that all low-income Pennsylvanians can access and maintain safe and affordable services to their home. We all know very well just how important it is to have running water, electricity, heat, and telecommunication services, not just during the pandemic, but always. It is such a key ingredient to a healthy and happy home. So to achieve our mission, we do do a number of things. We provide legal representation both to groups and individuals. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We provide education and training. We do a lot of train the trainer, such as events like this for social and legal services organizations across the state and other health providers and those kind of folks. So then we provide supportive services and case consultation for those of you that run into a utility issue and you aren't quite sure where to turn. We do provide technical assistance to folks in the field who have questions for their clients. So a little bit about the Pennsylvania Legal Aid Network. PULP is a specialized project within the Legal Aid Network. There are a number of other both local legal services programs and specialty projects. I'll walk you through who those are. This is just kind of a snapshot. I know that many of you likely already work with some of the local legal service providers. So hopefully this is not new information, but you'll pick up a couple of other tips for serving clients as well. So first, there's local legal services programs, and these are what I often refer to as the bread and butter of legal services. They provide frontline legal services to individuals across the state and serve all 67 of our counties. So in the southwest corner, the Pittsburgh area, the programs that serve that area are Neighborhood Legal Services, which serves Allegheny County and I believe Beaver County. There's Southwest Legal Services, which kind of serves Washington, Fayette, and you're going to test my knowledge on Pennsylvania counties, but the kind of southwest corner. And then you also have Laurel Legal Services, which kind of serves the other side, the eastern side of Allegheny County. So all of those programs, those three programs, are referred to as the Southwest Consortium of Legal Services Programs. It doesn't matter what county you're in, if you have a client who's low income and needs assistance, they may be able to get legal assistance from one of those local legal services programs. So, we know that low income communities face and households face a number of issues, right, that are intersectional. So, it's not just utilities that might be going on in their life, but maybe if you can help resolve a custody or a housing issue, they may help make the utility issue a little bit better, open up some funds if you can get them enrolled in other complementary public benefits programs. So local legal services covers a lot of different issues, from custody, eviction, home ownership issues. I know there's a lot of folks that likely on this call that work with homeowners who don't have clear title to their home, so it creates problems getting access to other assistance. They may be facing eviction for any number of reasons. There may be legal or illegal means taken to try and evict someone, and particularly I think in the utility context, we often see that landlords, they'll try to get somebody out by just shutting the utility services off, right? That is something that is illegal in Pennsylvania, and legal services may be able to help if that's happening to a client. So a range of issues may be able to provide assistance. I always recommend people contact those local legal services programs. Here's a little map of Pennsylvania to help show where those local legal services programs are. So down in the Southwest, you have those three consortium programs, depending on what county you're in. But we also, across the state, there's Northwest Legal Services. So if you're working with folks in, Erie or Crawford or Venango or Warren, those are all counties that are served by Northwest Legal Services. Then if you're in the center of the state or approaching kind of near the center, you're going to be dealing with Mid-Penn Legal Services. Up in the Northeast, there's North Penn Legal Services. At Southeast is Legal Services of Southeastern Pennsylvania. And then there's two programs in Philadelphia serving that single county, both the Philadelphia Legal Assistance and Community Legal Services. In addition, though, to those bread and butter programs, really the front line of legal services, there's also a number of specialty projects, and PULP is one of those specialty projects. Again, we work on utility access and affordability issues, on both energy, water and wastewater, and telecommunications. There's also, though, again, to help deal with intersectional issues that low-income consumers face, there is the Pennsylvania Health Law Project. So if somebody is encountering issues with Medicaid or long-term care, there is a statewide helpline available through the Health Law Project, and they may be able to help. There's also the Community Justice Project. So if you're working with immigrant communities in particular, CJP can be very helpful. They also take on kind of larger class action issues when there's a lot of consumers experiencing the same kind of issue. There's also Justice at Work, which provides assistance for those who may be experiencing wage theft or labor trafficking or workplace discrimination. There is the Institutional Law Project, which provides assistance to incarcerated individuals and their families. Some very interesting issues come up there when you have somebody who's transitioning to or from incarceration, and there are a lot of rights there that sometimes get missed. And so the Institutional Law Project is there to help. And then there's also Regional Housing Legal Services, which works on development of affordable housing and access to affordable housing. A couple of other legal services I want to just highlight for you. There is a palawhelp.org website, which provides pro se assistance on a lot of issues. That website is currently in the midst of being overhauled, but there's a lot of helpful information up there, including things like, if you have a client who's trying to work through a divorce, there's different kinds of sample forms that people can use up there, a lot of self-help materials. There's also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there are domestic violence programs serving every county in Pennsylvania. And if you are looking for a local domestic violence program, some of which have legal services as a component, I'd recommend reaching out or taking a look at the PCADV website, which is the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Again, there are services in every county to serve the basic needs of survivors of domestic violence. And then there's also the senior helpline. So if you're working with a senior who's got any of these issues, and sometimes seniors have fixed incomes that may make them a little over eligibility guidelines for a lot of different programs, senior law may be able to still help with wherever that household is on the income guideline scale. So I'm going to return to PULP for just a little bit to talk a little bit more about the kinds of utility assistance we provide to consumers. So the first is legal representation, and we do represent both community groups and individuals. We also provide advocacy and, again, education and training. And I want to stress that we're available if you want to train the trainer event and you want to bring PULP in to provide a deeper dive on any of the programs you've heard about today earlier in the program. We can also provide training covering individuals' rights to utility service and what happens when somebody is at risk of termination, how that process is supposed to go, and the kinds of assistance available when folks are in crisis and about to be terminated. Again, we also provide support and consultation services, so do reach out to PULP anytime if you have a client and you need some assistance with. If you're not quite sure where to turn, chances are we can turn you to the right place. I did notice that there were a lot of questions in the chat about unregulated utilities, water and wastewater authorities in particular. We can provide some guidance on those kinds of issues. So, we're not just limited to providing kind of support and consultation on regulated utilities, but also some of those unregulated utilities. Some common issues we get involved in, both at the state level and on behalf of individuals. We often represent community groups and low-income consumer groups in utility rate proceedings to make sure that rates remain affordable. In universal service program proceedings, which tackles the design and benefits available through universal service programs. We work on consumer billing issues and termination issues. Also, I mentioned earlier, tenant utility access issues. There are a lot of rights that tenants have to ongoing service that folks just aren't aware of. So it's another area we specialize in. And then issues with the competitive electric and gas suppliers. And so, we do see a lot of consumers get hit with pretty high prices when they contract for service. So if that happens to a client and you have questions about it, Pulp is a place you can turn. So I wanted to take just a couple minutes to kind of put utility affordability in context for everyone. Utility unaffordability has been a growing threat to financial stability for low-income households for many years, right? Prices are going up, and that's because the cost to do service is going up. But where we are right now is that low-income households, many of them pay anywhere between 10 and 30% of their income on energy costs, right? And we heard from the previous presentation, right, that affordable housing should be at 30% of your income. So there's clearly some disconnect there and something we need to work on. And the reason why these programs exist to help make energy, water, and wastewater more affordable for folks to make sure that they can maintain service to their home. So we are also seeing that water and wastewater costs are going very high, right? They can sometimes exceed 10% of household income. So in comparison, a middle income household pays just about 2 or 3% of their income on home energy costs. I also just want to note there's a growing body of research that is finding a pronounced disparity in energy burden and water burden across low-income communities of color. And so that's what that graphic on that slide shows is, many Black families face a 43% higher energy burden than white families. That is a big disparity that we need to be looking at and making sure that we're serving equitably all those in need. But this, the pandemic has certainly shined a bright spotlight on energy and water insecurity. The same households that are already facing really high energy burdens are also experiencing some of the greatest job losses, food and housing insecurity, and medical insecurity. So as a result of these economic pressures, households have unmasked over the last 2 years unprecedented levels of utility debt. So we're climbing out of that debt with the help of those programs that you've heard about today. But we are entering a period soon where the winter protections from termination will expire. So it's absolutely critical that we ensure that everybody we're serving gets into these programs. And I know that many of you know this information, but it does, again, just trying to put it into full context, right? And just how much utility insecurity can disrupt a family's financial stability. And it has pretty long range, far ranging impacts, right? So if somebody doesn't have heat, right, we know this stuff, but unless you put it into context and remind just what happens, but without heat or without adequate housing that keeps the heat in, there can be unsafe temperatures in the home, and that causes a lot of negative health impacts both for seniors, those with disabilities, and young children. Of course, we can't properly sanitize without running water. It sometimes results in condemnation of a home. So by providing utility assistance and ensuring that every client we serve is well connected to the programs, what we do is I see it as a preventative measure. right? We are all doing prevention work by connecting people to low-income assistance programs. And that, that's really the path forward. And I throw up here a statistic that Duke University put out in a recent study they've been working on, that when we were in the throes of the pandemic and there was a there were moratorium across the nation, they connected that directly to a decrease of 4.4% in COVID-19 infection rates and 7.4% in mortality rates. I feel like that statistic alone underscores just the critical importance of the work that everybody on this call is doing, from the utilities to the social services providers to the commission. We all are playing a role in making sure that we're preventing harm to households by keeping them connected to basic services. So, through the conference today, you explored a lot of details with all of these programs, and really that they're designed to build resiliency across our communities by making sure that we can afford running water, heat, electricity, and broadband. We're improving housing stability and habitability. What these programs are providing is a solid base of support, but I will leave you by saying that, it's up to all of us to build the path to resiliency for our families and communities. We have to be meeting families where they are and helping them along the way to these available programs. So I invite you all to contact PULP to provide assistance along the way. We're here to help build resiliency in our communities, help connect the dots to programs, and help ensure that everybody has the right and the ability to access service. So thanks again to the PUC for inviting me to be part of this session today, and happy to answer any questions.
Wow. That was a ton of information. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You're always giving us great information. And if we have any questions, please drop them in the chat for Elizabeth. She is always eager to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to go right to some other fun activities, and I'm going to ask Christina to tee us up for our next set of raffles.
Okay, Sherry, this is the fun part. We love this part. And again, every presentation I have heard from so far, I learned so much already, and I can't wait to go back and revisit the presentations that everyone just shared so I can even gain more information. So we thank you so much. But please remember, as Sherry keeps stating, please drop your questions in the chat and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. And we are very much ahead of schedule, so we can keep moving. And the next raffle item, let me see, I'm getting confused here because we have so many. Oh, good. Okay, so our next raffle item is coming from People's Gas, and we have 2 conservation kits that 2 lucky winners will win. And we hope to have a drum roll. So Sherry, I liked your drum roll, so let's get that drum roll started.
Okay, so drum roll. I'm tapping.
Me too.
Air taps. Drum roll. Our 2 winners for the conservation kits are, let's see here, Lori Walton. Congratulations, Lori Walton. Everyone snap the fingers or clap for Lori. And also Sharita Thomas Folks. Congratulations, Sharita. Okay, we do have a question. So before we go to another raffle, we're going to throw in a question. How about that?
Okay,
all right.
That's good.
A question from Sarah is, hi, Liz. Could you tell me who is allowed to assist the customer in submitting an application via Compass? I've helped customers fill out paper apps, but That is obviously way more complicated than filling out a form over the phone and having the customer text me a photo and their SS documents. Is there a customer signature required? If so, who is allowed to sign in the customer's place? Elizabeth?
That's a great question, and one I'm not going to be able to give a totally clear answer to because I haven't looked at the Compass app in a while. I would say there is for LIHEAP applications, which LIWAP, the water assistance is modeled after, on paper, if you are assisting somebody to fill out that paperwork, there is a place for you to indicate that you've assisted somebody to fill that out. What I would say is you should be cautious to ever sign on behalf of somebody if they haven't given you permission. If they've given you permission to sign on their behalf, that you should be fine to assist somebody with an application process. You just want to be careful that you are never attesting to something that you don't have documentation that that client has allowed you to attest to it for them. So that would be the general guidance I'd provide. I can't tell you with certainty what the Compass application includes, but generally, if at all possible, you should be making sure that that client gives you that authorization to affix their signature, and that should cover you in case anything were to come up. But more specifics, contact us, pulp at pautilitylawproject.org, and we will try to assist in an individual matter if you have a more specific question.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, Sarah, for asking your question. And now we're going to go right back to some more raffles. Okay, Christina.
Okay, the very, very fun part. So we just got through our People's raffle. So next up, we have a cooler full of goodies. I wish my name qualified for that one. But this prize is coming from Columbia Gas, and we have one lucky winner for this cooler.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. I'm banging on my desk here.
Okay, so that winner is Robin Middleton. Robin Middleton, you're the winner.
Great.
So I understand we have some questions in the published Q&A section. I cannot see those questions at this moment, so we will get those questions and we will get your questions answered throughout the rest of our presentation today. Chris, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, so our next prize or item that we have to raffle, and this is coming from the Pennsylvania American Water Company. And they have 5 gifts to raffle off, and it's a cooler packed with assorted items. So we have 5 lucky winners for this. So here we go, Sherry. You have 5 names to pick from. Drum roll.
Okay, drum roll for 5 people. So boom, 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 boom. That's for all 5. Okay, so the names that I have, the winners that we have for those gifts, we're going to start with Dominique Lawson. Clap.
Yay, Dominique.
Dominique Lawson. Melissa McClaymond. Melissa McClaymonds. All right, Melissa, you're a winner. Donna McLaughlin. Donna McLaughlin, you're a winner. Nora Andrews. Nora Andrews, you are a winner. And Audrey R. Scott. You are also a winner. Big round of applause for all 5 of those winners. Please drop your information into the chat so that you can receive your gift.
Those were some great prizes, Sherry. They were very, very nice ones. And thank you all for our utility sponsors for offering such great gifts. You all deserve, we wish we could do more for you, but you certainly deserve anything that we can offer you. We now have another session set up for another Q&A. And again, we're so ahead of schedule because we rock. We're so good at this that we're ahead of schedule. But we want to, again, give you an opportunity to ask questions in the chat so we can get your questions answered. And we also want you to take the opportunity as well to share information about your agency. If you have resources or programs or any kind of information that we could gain from you, we would like for you to drop that in the chat as well. We're all here to learn from each other. It's all about networking and partnerships, and we all can learn together. So please take the opportunity now as well to drop information that you want to share with us in the chat too. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, we have a question, and the question is there assistance for low-income rural individuals with well water? I was recently trying to get help for someone in a very rural area and was denied by many of the agencies that area serves. Can any of our speakers jump in for that question? All right, Elizabeth.
So the unfortunate answer to that is likely no. You know, there is some community services block grants that go to the counties. And so I would check and see if there are home repair type programs available in your county through that funding. But generally, well water issues would be considered kind of a home repair issue, right? Because the well would be, unless there are issues where, you know, there's something kind of leaching into from, you know, there's some fracking, for instance, in some communities where folks are having problems with the quality of their well water. That is an issue I would recommend you refer that client to an attorney, you know, contacting the local Pennsylvania Bar Association if they're slightly higher income, where there may be some rights attached, but you know, that would fall generally into the bucket of home repair. And so I'd take a look in your county to see if there are those block grant programs that can help assist with well repair. But generally, the utility assistance programs aren't going to be able to help well water issues.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That is very important information. And if we get any additional resources, we will drop them into the chat and make sure that you have them. Thank you so much. Okay, so while we're teeing up some more questions, Christina, we have some more prizes.
Well, we do. And actually we're going to skip around. So we're going off schedule a little bit because we just raffled off our second group of raffle items. And then we had one more for closing, but we'll jump right to that since we have time. And the next gift that we have are from our Be Utility Wise sponsors. And these are the companies that make sure that we can host this event and make sure that we have the proper funds to host it. So we have some great prizes, and I can't wait to tell you what this one is. We have 3 $100 gift cards to 3 lucky winners.
Well,
so that's
right.
really, yeah, so we're really going to do a drum roll. So let's do that drum roll, Sherry. So we have 3 people that you can pull from that will win this prize.
Wow, $100 gift cards from utility companies. Let me see what I can get. Boom, ba, boom, ba, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom. Our winners are Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
It is.
Deborah Schweitzer is our first winner. Deborah. Congratulations, Deborah. Please put your information into the chat. Kim Spruce. Congratulations, Kim Spruce. And Jonathan Young. Congratulations, Jonathan Young. You can all share your gift cards with me. Congratulations.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
So do we
Back
have
to
any more questions in the chat that we can answer? Or should we just move on to the next raffle item?
Well, I believe there are some questions in the chat and they are loading them up. So we can actually take
Move
that
on.
short break.
Okay, that sounds good. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. Everyone can grab some water. I definitely need some. And we'll be right back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so are we all back and ready? So it's great we took that little short break to get some of these chat questions up and about, and we have Cindy that can see these chat questions, and she will offer to read the questions to us. So thank you so much, Cindy, if you want to jump in and read a few questions for us.
Okay, I see there is one that says, are there any assistance program for utility services that are past due, but the individual is in an emergency housing and not currently paying for utilities? Would the best resource be security deposit help and CAP program once the new address with the utilities is established?
Wow, that's a good question. So who would like to jump in and answer that question?
We have our utilities on. I'm sure we do. I see some names. Karen? Sarah?
I'm here.
Okay.
I could take a stab at it if
yes.
Can they be, is this an actual situation or is this theoretical?
It did not say, but let's answer it as it's maybe an actual situation.
Well, I would say if somebody has a home and they are not living in the home at that time, but they would be moving back there if they were to able, for say, get their utilities reconnected or something like that, then I would say that those types of past due balances would be eligible for the programs because it would be, means of getting a reconnection.
Okay.
I'm actually going to piggyback on Sarah's there. That was actually, I was going to ask for a little bit of clarity on the question as well. Sorry, this is Manuela from Pennsylvania American Water. I was going to ask for a little clarity on the question as well. I do know that sometimes when people apply for grants for us, it is for an account that was closed. And they're looking to get that taken care of so they can start a new account, and we do take that into consideration as well. So that is something I know we do, but again, it is, I feel like this is, as you said, it's most likely, something someone's run into, but I feel like without more information, it's a little bit difficult to give any definitive answers, but I do know that we do our best to help people, and if they have an outstanding bill, that is one of the things that we can help them with. And they don't have to currently be, again, like you said, they may be in an emergency situation when they don't have a home, but they're trying to reestablish. And this is one of the ways that we'd be able to assist them.
Thank you.
So do we see what? Yes, sure.
Okay. This is there assistance for low-income rural individuals with well water? I was recently trying to get help for someone in a very rural area and was denied by all the agencies that serve the area.
That seems to be a very common question. I think we've answered that question kind of prior that, we have no jurisdiction over it. And unfortunately, the customer has to go to the rural authority or whoever their water is through. They're going to have to, direct those questions to them. I wish there was more that we could tell you that was, could put a smile on people's face to say that we can help, but, that's kind of out of our league.
Okay. And I think this is similar, and you can just tell me that I've had difficulty in the past assisting people who rent mobile homes, and the landlord charges for the water and sewage with no legal measurement of usage. Is there someone to contact who would be best to assist them?
Okay, again, so they would have to tell us who the water company is, or, you know, water authority, or whoever they're through. And then that's how we could direct the correct, you know, direct them to the correct company, or again, tell them if it's a rural municipal water system that there's some, you know, we can't help with that. So let's, is there any other question other than relating to Royal? So we can make sure that we can get some information back. Maybe we can look up some information to at least give people direction on where to reach out. But again, it's not something under the umbrella of what we're trying to provide right now.
There is one that says, do you have to have a termination for utility assistance?
That's a good question. So I'm sure any of the utilities can jump in and answer that question. So would one of the utilities like to jump in and answer that?
Hi, this is Karen from Peoples. You don't have to have a termination notice to apply for LIHEAP. That's just strictly based on household size and income. But if you're wanting to apply for crisis, your service has to be off, or you do have to have a notice in order to apply.
No,
Okay,
just, oh, and this is Mike from Duquesne. You know, and the CAP program is open all year long. You don't need a termination notice for any of our customer assistance programs. You know, right now for Dollar Energy, for most of us, you would need to have a term notice or be off. But beginning March the 1st, you know, that is open to every customer as well. So, you know, some of these eligibility requirements change throughout the year. But for CAP, never need a term notice. We just want to have you in the program.
Thanks, Mike. Let's take one more.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to quick go through some of the newer ones, and
that's fine, Cindy. Actually, we can take a couple more because I see we're 15 minutes.
Here's one. Do customers need to apply for LIWAP before applying for Dollar Energy?
That's a very good question. Do we still have Katrina on the line?
I don't think Katrina is still on. I can answer for Pennsylvania American Water specifically on this one. This is Manuela, sorry. Again, no, they are not required to, for us specifically, they are not required to apply for any other assistance options before they go to Dollar Energy. However, we do think it's best that they do LIWAP first, as long as they qualify for that. We think it's best that they do because they can give them more help. They can, you know, with that, the $2,500 for water and drinking water and $2,500 for wastewater, that's a lot of assistance available to them. And then they can move into the Dollar Energy Forum and also contact us to set up installment plans and whatnot on that lower amount. So we encourage it, but we do not require it here in Pennsylvania American Water.
Manuela, I'll chime in. I think you're correct. I also do not think that, I think I've listened to the LIWAP presentation about 10 times now, and if I'm remembering correctly, I don't believe that you need to have gone anywhere before going to LIWAP. And as far as CWSA goes, it doesn't matter who you go to first.
And this is Karen. I just want to stress that LIWAP is crisis. It's for crisis situations only. You can't get a LIWAP grant unless you're either past due or your water's off.
Thank you. Is there any other utility that wants to jump in? Sherry, what do you think? Should we do one more or should we just keep it moving?
Well, I think that we should talk about the resources booklet before we do anything else today, because we did give that information at the top of this event today. And so, Chris?
Okay, so this morning, everyone should have received your resource booklet. And that resource booklet has a ton of information in it. It has all the programs that we just discussed today. And it also has some other resources in the booklet as well. There's a ton of information in there. We update it every year. And if you did not get one, make sure that you check out our Be Utility Wise website a little later. We have a link on our PUC webpage dedicated just for Be Utility Wise. And we promise we will post that booklet on our site. And if you have requests that you would like us to send you some of the booklets, we can do that as well. But it is also printer friendly from our website. But we understand that it's a lot of pages. And if you need like a handful or two, like you normally, we do have some agencies that asked us for 50 and 60 at a time after these events. We will be more than happy to send them to you. I don't know if there's anything else that Sherry wants to say about the booklet, but it's all done in-house. We work very hard. The utilities work very hard in getting us the information, and that is one of our signature pieces from this event.
I would ditto that.
Thank you, Sherry. So before we close today, we will have one more raffle. But before we close, I just want to give, some closing remarks. I want to thank all of our fantastic speakers today for the information you shared. I'm sure it is going to go a long way. I can tell you it's going to go a long way with me. And I can guarantee you I will probably be looking at all these presentations again after our conference today. So I want to thank you all for your time and expertise. And I wish we had like an applaud button on Teams Live, but we really don't, I don't think. Maybe our attendees can applaud, but I just want to give our speakers a round of applause. So Sherry, we will applaud them.
Yay!
Thank you. And I also, you see applause?
Yes.
Yes, great. And I also want to give a very special shout out to our Be Utility Wise team, our sponsors, and the awesome PUC communications team that I work with that have worked with me throughout the past 2 years, and my Be Utility Wise team to make sure that we could launch this awesome event. And I'm so proud of everyone that I work with, and I don't think we could pull this off without you. I don't want to say I don't think, I know we could not. So teamwork makes the dream work, and I really, really appreciate all the support that you have offered. So thank you so, so, so much. I also want to give a special shout out to our amazing PUC virtual producer, Aaron Margolis. He is new on our staff, and me and Sherry have hogged him up since he came on board. He's probably thinking like, oh my goodness, who are these two girls? But he is absolutely amazing. So Aaron, you rock, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for us. And I'm sure, Sherry, you probably want to say a few words too.
I just want to say, we kept saying no one's going to be able to fill the other guy's shoes, Fred, and we love Fred. But Aaron, thank you so much for coming on board, working with us. We really, really appreciate you. You get the vision. We've been hosting the Be Utility Wise events for over 15 years, maybe 20 years now or more. And we host them all, yes, statewide, 8 events per year. And so, Aaron, we're really supportive. We're really appreciative that you support our event. And I know there's some other folks on our staff that have participated and helped out along the way, and we just want to give them a big thank you as well. I believe Cindy is on the line. Cindy, thank you so much. Chris, I'm sure you have a long list, but thank everyone, the entire communications team.
Right, and we can't go without saying, we have to say thank you to our great leader, Tom Charles. He is our boss, and he has to deal with all of the ins and outs of us and asking and wanting all these different platforms and everything. And he has definitely came through to make sure that we had all the tools that we needed, including a new producer, Aaron, to make sure that we could execute these events and bring them to you. So we're so happy to be able to bring them back to the state of Pennsylvania and start to offer our Be Utility Wise program again statewide. But before we end this day, one more thing. I must express my sincere gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work that you all do that are attending this conference. You are truly our billboard for boots on the ground. And I must say that again, you are our boots on the ground. We know that we could never touch as many people as we touch without having you partnering with us and being part of our team. So again, we want to thank you for the work that you do, and we owe you a huge round of applause as well. But we also want you to know, please be proud of yourself and the work that you do. Pat yourself on the back. We know it's hard. We know that the work that you do is very hard. So we want to give you all a round of applause as well. So another applause. So before we end the day, I'm not sure if we have any of our Be Utility Wise committee members that want to give a last closing shout out. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but we do have a couple more minutes. So if there's anybody that wants to get on screen right now and, talk about how awesome our human service professionals are, I think they deserve to hear it. So anybody that like to get on and just, give another shout out, we welcome that as well.
Christina, this is Karen. I want to say, yes, the agencies are the boots on the ground, and I am so grateful for all the people that work in the agencies that I network with and make referrals to and get referrals from. I can't say enough about what you do to help our customers, not only with their utilities, but other situations that happen in their households too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen.
And I'm here to echo Karen's response as well. I think we try to do our best to provide safe and reliable utility service to customers, but that's such a narrow part of what they need. And without the partnership of so many other people, really looking after the whole person, I think there'd be a lot more suffering, a lot more people facing trauma and difficulties that, thanks to all of us working together to do our part, we really help to make this region safer and healthier. So thanks to everybody. We hope that we can see you again in person sometime soon. But in the meantime, thanks for spending your day with us.
Hello, West Penn Power wants to say thank you for all your hard work as well. I can't say it as well as the other two did, but definitely thank you for looking out for the best interest of our customers and being one that they come to when they're in need. So anytime you need any of us, please reach out. We're here to help.
Hi, again, this is Manuela from Pennsylvania American Water, and I'm just gonna follow along with what Shelley said there. We just want to thank you all so much for attending and for everything you guys do every single day. Again, being the boots on the ground, getting the information out there, putting in the work, putting in the time. These are things we just cannot be more grateful for. We here at the utilities, we want people to know what's going on. We want to offer them all the opportunities that we can. However, we couldn't do it without you guys. So again, thank you so much for your time and for taking part in this and being such an active and involved group. We've had some great questions. We've had some great information. I am really looking forward, like Christina said, really looking forward to going back and really digging into some of this and really reviewing some of those questions. And learning some more so that I can help as many people as possible myself. Again, thank you all so very much. And I also want to thank
PUC for putting this on and for having us be a part of this. It's a really great opportunity, and we really, all of us really enjoy being able to share this information. I think, as I said earlier, these are things that are near and dear to all of us. So getting that information, we are here to help, and reminder to tell those people, call your utilities now.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for offering those special remarks. We want to make sure that our partners really do know how much we appreciate them. We have one more raffle that we need to get in the hands of our lucky winners, but you're not going to get away with this one. As you all know, every year at the end of our conference, we run around and we don't give you a raffle ticket until we get that evaluation in our hand. So since we are virtual, we're asking that you look out for an email from us, and we want you to fill out that evaluation as well. We want you to tell us, what you want us to see, what we could do better, what you enjoyed about the program, share testimonials. We want to hear it all. So just look out for an email today. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure if it'll go out today, but sometime this week that we're asking you to fill out the evaluations. So you're not getting away with it this year either. So even though we hold off and we don't give you those tickets, we hold them real tight, don't we, Sherry? And
Yes.
and my Be Utility Wise team, we're all running around trying to figure out who gave us an evaluation, whether you get a ticket or not. So we still need the evaluations back. We want to hear from you. So we have one more drum roll that we need to present.
Well,
we have,
let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. I think we have Dollar Energy.
We have
Dollar Energy and PWSA. We have two more.
We have two more. So we
All
have
right.
two more lucky winners. Okay, Sherry, do your little.
Boom. All right. So as Chris just said, we have two more Dollar Energy. It's a assorted goodie basket and PWSA gift basket. And the winner for the first one is Lori Fellenser. Lori, congratulations.
Yay, Lori.
Congratulations, Lori. Please put your information into the chat. And then the PWSA gift basket goes to Abby Texter. Abby Texter. Congratulations, Abby. Congratulations to all of our winners today. Thank you. Back to Chris.
Thank you, Sherry. So this is the end of our program today. And again, we thank you all for attending. Like Mike said, we wish that we could all be back together, and I'm sure all of us feel the same way. I miss the face-to-face interaction with you all, but I am extremely pleased that we had such a great turnout. We had 259, maybe 260 people register for the event. So we can tell you still want the information, and we care about you as much as you care about us getting the information to you. So please keep your interest in Be Utility Wise. We love this event, and we will see you next year. So we're going to end with saying, when you know better,
you do better.
Do better. So thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you have any other questions for us, please make sure that you direct them to us, and we will make sure that we will go through our chat and get the answers to questions that you had directly that we didn't have a chance to answer them. So thank you again so much. Sherry?
You just said it. When you know better, we can all do better. Thank you so much for participating. Christina, you did an amazing job.
My whole team did an amazing job. Thank you, Be Utility Wise, my Pittsburgh Be Utility Wise committee. I couldn't do it without you. We are such a great team. I have an awesome team, full circle. So thank you all, and we will see you next year. Bye-bye.